Hey everybody, welcome to the Human Interact stream. We've got a special one for you today.
Hello,
this guy
everyone.
over here,
That's me.
this guy has a little bit to do with what we're doing today. But before we get started, who is this guy?
Hello, everybody. I am Anatoly Shashkin. I'm getting into character here. Also known as Dosnostalgic in some dark corners of the internet, and I'm here to play some Loom and find out which version is the best.
So, for those who are unaware, last night I put a poll out there because Dosnostalgic here told me that there is a superior version of Loom, and it is not the technically superior one. To which I replied, "Is this a joke? Like, is this some kind of cruel, sick joke?" And so, after being informed and educated that the EGA version of Loom, which is the lower color version, has scenes in it that are not in the VGA version, and music and some other stuff too. So I was like, whoa, holy shit, because I'd only played the VGA version. I was ignorant. I did not know. And so we put out a poll last night, which all of you talked about, and we said, hey, Team EGA or Team VGA? And Team EGA pulled ahead by quite a bit. It was like 70%.
Good job, people.
So we are going to be playing, I said we were going to play the best version. I think the best version is the VGA version still.
We are. Technically, we're both playing the best version.
Exactly. And Anatoly here thinks that the best version is the EGA version. So we're going to bring you something a little more special today. Today, we are going to be playing both the EGA and the VGA versions at the same time. I was scrambling really hard to get audio, video equipment so that I could do this.
This is going to be quite something. We don't have to be enemies, right? We don't have to argue. We can just see for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So I want you in the chat to yell out your team EGA or VGA for scenes that you think that are better. And I want to hear from you out there as well, as we will banter back and forth. I mean, we both know which is the better version.
Of course.
That's why I'm on the VGA side over here.
Yes, which is why I know I'm right. I mean, everybody's allowed to be wrong. I'm not going to judge him, but, you know, whatever.
You can have your wrong opinion. So let's go ahead and let's get this started here.
Let's do that.
So at the very beginning, on the right, we have the VGA version.
Choose your skill level.
The VGA version has voices, and they are done at the Skywalker Ranch. They were done by some Disney level voices, and this is in 1990, and we were like,
please choose your skill level.
what the heck? Like, we had never heard a game talk like this before. I mean, the CD-ROM
Yes.
changed the game for everything. The talkies, was this LucasArts' first talkie
Please
game?
choose your
Yes,
skill
it
level.
was, but however, we don't particularly know if it was farmed out or not partially, because the CD version is published later on, and it's also published by the
Please
software
choose
Toolworks
your
and not
skill
Lucasfilm
level.
Games.
All right, so let's go ahead and start the game.
Welcome to the age of the great guild.
So you'll notice right away that there's like voices and different music types. So I'm gonna go ahead and, this is the VGA version, I'll just be quiet so you can listen. And let's go ahead and just turn up the EGA version, which is the ad-lib sound, which I chose because this is what most people would have listened to, not
Yes,
MT32.
It's true. MT32 cost about $700 extra, which was a lot.
And what's really crazy about this too is that the dialogue between these games is actually slightly different. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this one, go back to the VGA version, so we can line these up. Now the MT32 version sounds like this, doesn't it?
It sounds different. It still sounds synthesized. This sounds very synthesized, which is why I don't like it.
Son of Signa, it is the dawn of your 17th year. The elders await you in the sanctuary.
I've never known them to weave such a bright messenger nymph. I wonder why the elders want to see me.
And so you can see
Yeah.
right away, like the dialogue is like completely
Dialogue
different.
is completely different, and also in the VGA version, well, as we find out soon enough, it's been significantly shortened. But I'd like to already point out how much I don't like the art in the VGA version. Here, EGA version, actually right here, the art.
Just point straight up. That's your version right
okay,
there. Yeah.
Fine. The EGA version, the superior one, obviously, has its excellent use of probably one of the best looking EGA games, just because it keeps the palette low. Like EGA is 16 colors, but you have to remember that background is not 16 colors. It doesn't actually use all 16 colors because some of them are actually reserved for the characters and everything else. And
Yes. And the
it's
text
stylized. That's right. So it's used about 9 colors actually, but either way, you can see here in the design, because of the use of the sort of dark colors and silhouettes, here the leaf really stands out. It's the only bright object on the screen versus all the silhouettes and everything on the other version are kind of filled in, and that to me ruins the sort of the original intent.
Now I'll go through and I'll just make my argument. These colors look really awesome, and while they did do a really good job of doing this with few colors, that feeling of that warm sunset like doesn't come through right there.
There doesn't have to be. There is no warm sunset. It's freaking. It's night. It's night. The owls are out. What's sunset?
It's
like
there.
I'm gonna argue that it's not meant to be there.
Yeah. And George Lucas,
Also,
changed
it's-
Star Wars too, and that was all right.
It's not. It's not sunset, right? He's sleeping, and it's the dawn of his. So it's literally, it's the morning of the day of his birthday. So he was sleeping on top of that mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing.
So I'm gonna point out right here, right now, as we roll through this game, there is music all over the EGA version. The VGA version is completely silent. And because of that, and there are also tunes in the EGA version that are not in the VGA version at all. And so I really like the fact that the music is better on the EGA version because of that, because there is music there because they use MIDI instead of doing everything completely CD audio.
Right. Yeah, the whole shortening thing happened because the game doesn't play music through any kind of files or anything. It just straight out goes to the CD audio, and the space was limited, so they had about an hour of a CD track to put everything else. Is there a CGA mode for Loom? Gluetech asks. Yes, there is.
It probably looks really bad.
It looks alright.
So this is where I feel like they did a good job of giving the same feeling.
It's fine because it's the same, just with a little bit of gradient thrown in. But it's more.
There are some
when
areas that are way different. Yeah.
where detail is filled in is what bothers me.
Yeah. So Emmy's commenting, "Oh wow, this place is huge." You're gonna find out there are a bunch of wizards and warlocks.
Yes.
So here's a funny thing. They decide to tell you the backstory of the game because they just jump you into it. You're just like, wait, what am I doing? And that's the intent. I mean, in the manual, are you supposed to read it and be like, oh, I get what's going on? Or
You're not, but there's a lot of more. Like, the game comes with a tape of the audio drama with the introduction of Bobbin's mother and some, like, just the 3 main characters, and you get a little bit of a more backstory setup before you get into the main game. You still don't know what's going on, though, even though you're, like, largely, you don't know what the world is like. The whole world opens up within the game, but at least more of a background for these characters you get.
So let's go ahead and listen to a couple of these lines here so we can get an idea of backstory and also see the difference in the story between two of them. What's up, Lombardo Calculus? Been a while since I've seen you in the stream. Welcome to the Human Interact stream.
Hey, Robert.
Here's more of the tapestry. The pattern shows the entire history of the Weavers, back to the founding of the great guilds.
I mean, let's face it, right? Around the time when the CD-ROM games talkies first started coming out, especially Sierra was big on pushing the adventure game talkies. Like the quality was like day and night. The Sierra is like somebody's voice, somebody from the office, the accountant is voicing the character from like across the room. and
then here they've got union actors, right? These are all union actors doing like Disney shows
like
and stuff.
Skywalker Ranch stuff. I'm still questioning some of
the decline of the guilds.
And of course the
third shadow gathering.
all this big foreshadowing, and of course
it's completely torn off.
Oh no, why would that be?
To have something to do with you? So, for this section, because it is completely different from VGA to EGA version, we have decided just to run one and then run the other one, because it's just like, wait, what? Wait, because there's so much that they cut out of the VGA version. I'm totally a person of brevity. I love it when they make things simpler and easier to understand, but I think that they cut too deep here, and I think it has to do with the fact that they ran out of space.
There's Hetchel. And the elders don't look at all pleased.
So let's go ahead and roll this fall.
You have heard the findings of this council, Dame Hetchel. Have you anything to say in your own defense?
My elders, my actions speak for themselves.
This reckless defiance is intolerable. Any secret you share with Signa's son might be turned against us.
His talent is awakening, and the power is very strong in him. We dare not desert him now.
Stubborn old fool! Who are you to decide such things?
Enough, Lachesis.
Such an epic name.
I'm grieved to see your many years of service end in such disgrace.
My destiny is yours to weave.
Hetchel, the fabric of your life has been woven by your own choices.
Gaze once more upon the great loom, if you would know your ultimate destiny. For that destiny is now upon you.
And you're just watching and you're like, what's going on? And
you understand a little bit more if you listen to the audio drama.
A swan's egg! What does it mean?
Something is deeply wrong. That draft has never failed before.
What is that noise? Outside!
The guild is under attack!
Who dares to desecrate the great loom of the weavers?
This is the work of that demon boy! We should kill him while we still can!
Your name will be cursed forever! Son of Signa, Loom child, Bobbin Threadbare.
My name? But I had nothing to do with this.
I think this is where the most
where are you
cutting
going?
happened, right? Like it's a lot more confusing.
No explanations. No goodbyes. And once again, I'm left behind.
so there you go. Congratulations, you are Bobbin Threadbare. They want you dead, and they all turn into swans and then left. You're like, wait, what the?
It's a good setup.
Yeah, it's a good setup. So let's go ahead and let's jump to the EGA version and show what difference it is. Like, it's a huge difference in what happens there.
I have to point out that that was George Fatman Sanger of mostly Origin fame who did the adaptations of Tchaikovsky's music, which all of this music comes from.
Yeah. And so, like, this is going to be, like, completely different. Not only that, but, like, this is the track that gets used a lot in the game that I'm like, yes, this one's really cool.
And yeah, in the VGA,
and it's not anywhere in VGA.
Yeah, it's twist. They're changed, swapped places with the other track, which is so weird because it fits so much more to this scene. And now here they don't wave their arms as violently.
they're not Stan, selling a boat anymore. And then there's close-ups here too, yeah. And so like right now they're like, hey, you need to tell the boy the truth. Like, this part's completely cut out.
Yeah.
Soon he's gonna have the power of weaving, whether or not we choose to guide him. And it's like, wait, huh?
Yeah, like this is a lot more backstory to the characters. And I love the slightly animated close-ups, you know, of which the only one survived in.
Yeah, but how would you know how to say Lachesis if you didn't hear the voice?
It might be in the audio drama, I'm not sure.
So the game shipped with a audio cassette tape.
Yes.
Before it was cool to listen to cassette tapes.
I love the eyes, like the little twinkle on the distaff, and like all those little elements that are gone when you look at close-ups.
So now you get a little bit more that like she's you know, presumed to be someone, a caretaker for you.
Yes. And she's on your side clearly. And there's a lot more
Hark!
of that.
I hear a cry outside. Completely different scene, right? This never happened before.
Yes. There's a bunch of scenes with swans cut on at the end too, which surprises me the most because like the ending is abrupt enough as it is, and like
and they cut the ending down,
like half of it. Yeah, I was like, what?
Also, that track's really cool that they do with like the rolling. Like that's nowhere in the VGA version either.
Lambda calculator.
Kill it while you can, Atropos.
Is pointing out the FM Towns and PC Engine ports. They are actually also different. FM Towns does not have all of the VGA graphics, and neither does the TurboGrafx port either. Each port is different. It's different, but right now we're only concentrating.
And here's
on
another
the
scene
two.
right here, right? They're chasing the birds,
Yes.
you know, out, and you never saw this in the other one, so you had no
Right, like,
idea
that's
that you needed to
all-
go this way.
That's right, and also like that sort of applies. Like, okay, so the swan turned all the elders into swans before they tried to kill you and took them away, and it's like you sort of get no context for this, and in the VGA version, I understand why it has to be done technically, but again, I think the decision to it's always better to have less, right? The show don't tell.
Yep.
But it turns out that the VGA version doesn't tell and doesn't show either, so it's like. And plus, this is clearly a game about music, right? So
Oh yeah, they
like,
did
music
a
is not-
huge thing about the music.
It's like it's based on music. Its main element of the UI is music. The whole concept of drafts is music, and the VGA version, not only like dialogue, not dialogue, whatever, but like it also has less music. So in a game about music, to have less music, I think it's a bit, placed at disadvantage.
All right, so the very first thing you'll notice in this game is, here's how the puzzles work. You're gonna get music notes, and you have to play those on the staff. So there's no item puzzles.
Trying to open.
There's no putting two things together in your inventory. There is you writing down the notes for each spell that does something. And not only
For the
that,
time, it was like really revolutionary.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it still would be really.
And not only that, but it's also unique because each time you play the game, the music notes are different. So you can't just like learn everything and then just like jump your way to the end of the game.
Right, absolutely. But I do want to point out historically, this is also point-and-click adventures just appeared. I mean, Sierra at the time did not switch to point-and-click yet. Like, their games supported mouse movement and stuff, but the Sierra still held the typing interface, and all of the LucasArts adventures had the verb interface on screen. You know, like Maniac Mansion, Monkey Island, I don't think was out yet. Yeah, it wasn't. Monkey Island wasn't out yet. So to have such a lightweight interface that could be easily understood was really cool.
What's happening? The whole village has flown away without us.
From the moment you came into this world, Bobbin,
Completely different dialogue.
great and terrible things have been happening. The elders hoped that your birth was the cause of it.
Why would the elders want to get rid of me? I'm such an awful weaver that they never even let me study with the others.
They fear you, Bobbin. When the swan arrived, they were already trying to weave the same draft on you that they had worked on me. But the draft turned against them. It means only one thing, that the pattern is failing of its own accord.
No. Can't it be stopped?
Stop chaos? The only thing to do is embrace it and turn ourselves into creatures of shadow. Or plan our escape.
Escape? To where?
I don't know. But if we are to survive, we must find out where that flock has flown and join them if we can.
A third shadow is nigh.
Yeah. Yes, another Loom is like a running joke throughout the rest of the
Be able to weave very much with
LucasArts games.
As you practice,
It's quite a few
its
stabs at
true
Loom,
power
including the third
will
shadow is nigh.
reveal to you. It's time to leave this island, Loom child. Your destiny lies beyond the sunset, across the sea.
Mother Hetchel, where are you going?
Goodbye, Bobbin. I must follow the swan.
She just like nopes the fuck out.
Well, this is a fine mess. Everybody's gone and I still don't understand what's going on. Why did they keep calling me Loom Child? Nobody's ever let me anywhere near a loom.
So yeah, little more story on the EGA version, but still same concept. It's just like, hey, I gotta go, and you gotta like follow those people. Go for it. Right. You got this. You know. I'll just say the voice and the music and the way that they edited it together adds a lot of drama and a lot of seriousness to it that like I think me as a young child would not have gotten when I played this.
I guess, yeah, because I didn't play it as a kid. Like, I discovered it, like, way later. And I did have a very strong emotional response to it. I was like, wow, this is great. Why did nobody tell me this exists? Like, that was my first interaction with the game.
Yeah, and when I got this, it came with a Sound Blaster CD-ROM pack. Like, one of those 1X CD-ROMs where it's just like, it's 1990, what do we do? And it's just like, here's a game with a bunch of voices on it and CD audio, let's do it, you know? So, both games are absolutely dead silent now. So Gluetex says that they find the voiceover distracting. I really like it because of how talented those people are and how much they bring those characters to life.
It really depends on a scene-per-scene basis. Like in the end, the final battle with Chaos, the dialogue is really, really bad because you can barely hear the music. And also, I sort of wish this is the kind of thing where it's like they did the whole thing on the CD audio, right? And all the music is still
MIDI. I would have preferred that either.
Crappy synthesizers, like licensed. It's literally almost unchanged. Swan Lake, like all this music. I remember when I first made the review of this on YouTube, which is a long time, one of my first videos ever, like 9 years ago. Jeez. Somebody was just like, "Oh, this is not all of the music is from the Swan Lake, and here's a list of songs that aren't," and absolutely every single one of them was part of the ballet. So I don't know what they were talking about. I specifically for that reason actually bought. That's when I used to engage on the internet a lot, like more, like you know how like you really want to like prove things out. So I like bought the Swan Lake and I actually listened to the entire thing and made notes which one of the cues corresponded to each part of the ballet, and I responded with the list.
Dang.
Which certainly wouldn't do that today, but I've seen Swan Lake. You know, I'm from Russia and my mom loved theater, so like I'm not a ballet fan probably because of the Swan Lake.
All right, so are you writing these down for me? Because I don't have my pen and paper in front of me.
Do that.
Yeah, let's do it again. Because here's the thing: we have to make sure that they're the same on both versions. There is a way we can cheat.
What a mess.
But we will. I think it was E. Yeah, G.
No, it's G E D. No, E D. Yep.
And the other one I believe is going to be different because it can be different on per version. G,
I think it's the same. No, it's the same.
D. Oh man, that's lucky. Maybe we got the same seed between both versions. That would be incredibly lucky. Because I actually spawned the game twice. That's how we're doing this. So another thing in the EGA version, which I don't think has any bearing on the game, this book you can pick up. This is the book of patterns Hetchel reads me sometimes. Better take it with me.
This is sort of like a reference to the actual book of patterns that you get with the game.
Yeah.
Sort of a hint for you to the connection with the real world for you to pick up.
Yeah.
Where in the actual book you can.
Man, lucky you have yours.
I do have mine, and there's pictures
in it
for drafts and explanations of drafts, and you can fill in your own.
So you can't pick it up in the VGA version. He picks it up here and he's like, I think I'll take that. But it's not a gameplay mechanic. CCCD.
Grass green. I hate that color.
And the other one is DDCD. So, okay, we don't have the same ones.
Which one is it in
that's
EGA?
green. CCCD.
Oh, I thought that was in the VGA. Wait, hold on. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, VGA, CCCD. I got it. Okay.
VGA, CCCD, EGA, what?
Yeah, so here.
What is it in the
CCCD,
EG? Yes.
and then this one is DDCD. And so these rooms teach you, like, okay, oh, green, you can cast on something.
Color changed.
I changed the color. Like, that's such lame dialogue. He says the color changed. He's like, the way he reads it, the way he says it, it had to have been changed. It had to be changed. I know that you disagree a lot with these things, but I liked what they did with it.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
So
It depends.
I'm gonna go ahead and run out of here, and we're gonna go to the next section here, which is, I think, one of the most controversial sections that you keep pointing out, and you're like, this is a travesty. They added detail. How dare they?
Well, you still have, you still missing the tent. You should probably go get the. Oh no, maybe not.
We have to go.
Fine.
We have to go to the owls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can't go to the tent because I can't see in the dark.
Oh, that's true.
So we're gonna go over here. But yeah, that. Do you have the reverse spell first? Don't you have to reverse the spell first? So
No.
you're jumping ahead of things. We will get to reversing spells.
Yeah, oof. That is by far the worst. Well, one of like top 3 worst.
I don't think it's the worst. I think it's a really cool concept.
I don't. Well, no, it's a great concept, but I don't think that this filling in. Also, remember, this is all supposed to be inspired. The original art Mark was inspired.
There's an owl in there.
Okay, so there's already 2 different ones.
It's okay. I'm just like getting these
Another
done through
owl.
because you have to do this before you can cast the spell.
Yeah, but I'm trying to pay attention to see which one.
Oh well,
is this.
I'll write it out once we get it because I have to run out of here. Remember. So here's a big
so many
art
owls
difference
in these
between
woods.
both versions right here
Yes.
that I think that you can speak to because you feel very strongly about this. I'm
do.
fine either way. I think both scenes look really awesome.
There are better adaptations of. Also, it's not like a same person. I think Brian Moore just said about like 5 different people uncoordinated worked on the updating the art, which would explain some of the big art differences.
Yeah, the inconsistencies.
Yeah, there's especially this. I love this. Like, look, everything is in silhouette. Like here, see, like they didn't
fast
fill in as much, so it looks slightly better. I just don't like those trees. Like they're on the foreground. They're kind of crappy. I don't know. It just like destroys that mood to me.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at this grave here.
Destiny shall draw the lightning down from heaven, roll its thunder far across the sea, to where I wait upon the shore of wonder, on the day the sky is opened and the tree is split asunder.
Subtle.
Yep. So subtle clue.
And then he also gives you a clue the second time, I think, right after you leave.
The day the sky is opened.
This game was like designed. That's at the time I did look up before we did this. I did look up some of the press, and just about every single person was just like, this is not hardcore enough. Even if they liked the game and gave it a higher mark, everybody remarks on how easy it is, and then just sort of.
All the holes are full now.
Haha. Hold on, let me get that one again. Did you get the VGA version?
Nope.
I'll do it again.
You keep getting them at the same time. I can't pay that much attention. Okay.
I think
There's
the other one
another
is just CCCC. I didn't know that you could do that.
Yep.
Lucky us. That's just hit that C key, just like wham, and then it's like you can see in the dark. So these owls let you see in the dark. You figure it out later because you're just like, what does this note do? And you start playing it randomly on things until you figure out stuff. So here's another thing I like pulling out and showing. If you're watching this on a small screen, I'm gonna go and blow this up for you so you can see. The EGA version uses a lot of dithering to essentially, I should come back up here. Uses a lot of dithering to give the appearance of more colors than are actually there. So you look at this and you're like, how the hell did they do that with 9 colors? Well, let me show you. So if we can go really full screen on the EGA version here, like really blow up, you can see that there's a pattern between 2 colors. And the more that you use of that pattern, or if you combine it with black, gives the appearance from far away, especially like on the CRTs back in the old day, of more colors that are actually there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was something that's implemented in like the editor and the storage, because it's not good for old school compression. You also have to remember there's always memory and space considerations. So that sort of a dithered fill was implemented specifically at the request of Mark Ferrari, the artist.
All right, so let's go ahead. We are going to go inside this dark tent. I avoided it because I knew where I needed to go. And we are going to cast See in the Dark at the Darkness. And what's good about this is you can actually type the letters in on the keyboard, which makes things easy. Otherwise, you're just clicking around on the staff, which can be kind of difficult.
Yeah. And also on this difficulty, you're actually shown like which.
Man, that's easy. C, 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 E.
Yeah. Also, if you didn't listen to the audio novel, like you were, I don't think there's much indication that they actually sing those drafts. Like with the voice, I don't think anywhere, even in the version, it's presented that like they're singing, and just like this staff just sort of.
Don't these people ever clean up after themselves?
Ah, that's such a cool line. What does he say over here?
It's different.
This pile hasn't been spun yet.
Don't these people
Alright,
ever clean up after themselves?
He's being very posh and British. I love it.
I'll give the VGA version that one.
See, we can still be friends.
Well, we'll see by the end. After this stream, I'm blocking the entire Team VGA thing on Twitter.
Everyone that said Team VGA, they're getting blocked. So, one of the things here that you learn is
Don't
that
these people ever clean up after themselves?
there are two piles here. There's a gold and a wood, and you can actually do spells in reverse.
Yeah, that's like a big aha moment that's required, because you won't be able to get off this island without realizing that you can do that.
Mm-hmm. And so you're supposed to figure that out there. And you can start undoing and opening and doing stuff. So let's go ahead and let's open the sky, just like the hint told us to. Bobbitt's like, you're rich! You're poor again, Bobbin! They don't care, they're weavers. Weavers don't need money, they just like...
They don't. They also seem to be like the most important guild that's literally in a possession of an instrument that's responsible for keeping the balance between the universes. You know, like everybody...
it's like the Force. They couldn't make Star Wars, so they made Loom.
Everybody else is kind of like, you know, we make iron things and glass things, and yeah, like they're all like sort of like the professions that actually have like practical applications. But weavers don't seem to weave anything, but yet they have this giant like loom.
I'm gonna pause this so I can sync these animations up. So VGA version, you heard sound and rumbling. EGA version, there was just the MIDI music. And together, it's like, that's pretty cool. I kind of like playing both of these at the same time because I'm getting best of both worlds. This is a very quiet game otherwise.
Right. Also, in chat, weavers weave the fabric that holds the universe together. Yes, very important. While the other guilds are kind of like more like, okay, we make, I don't know, swords and like spoons and like cups. Weavers are like super important. Yeah, so after that's your tutorial. Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and so now I just got the extra note. And so that's what gates you in this game, is there are certain things you have to do before they say, okay, you're ready to go on.
Yeah, mainly it's like a very linear sequence of things where you learn a spell, you very shortly after that you'll encounter a puzzle that will need that exact element in some way, and after you do a couple of those, you'll progress into the next level with the story. I mean, it's a fairly good progression. There isn't really any slowdowns.
Okay, so there is one thing I forgot to mention before we leave this island. The very beginning of the game, there was a $14 disc you could buy for MT32 audio.
Yes, I have the ad right here.
All right, so you'll have to give explanation to anybody who's like who's not a dinosaur.
Originally, well, MT32 Roland MT32 was a fancy computer sound device. It wasn't meant for computers. It was just like a low-grade, sort of low-cost synthesizer for just general use. And you could get a card that would allow you to use it with a PC, which at the time was kind of not very great in the sound department in general. And Loom, although Loom didn't support it out of the box for some reason. The patch was available, almost immediately. But it cost $14 to add Roland MT32 support to Loom. They would send you a disc back. You would send a check for $15, $14.95 to Lucasfilm Games, and you would get the 5¼ inch floppy disk back.
And what I thought was the most interesting part about it is they play a whole overture on a black screen. It just says overture.
Yes.
It feels like you're in a freaking play, like an epic production at, like a play that you would go to.
Yes, this game is so like intimately interwoven with the Swan Lake that overture seemed like a logical choice. And here you see the swans. And this is your moment of truth. Like, you won't be able to get off the island until you realize. Like, if you didn't spin a spell backwards yet, this is where you have to do it.
I don't think they let you off the island without spinning a spell backwards.
That's your obstacle. It's right here. So, like, as soon as you're... Okay, let's do this. What is this?
DEFC.
C. And you're like, well, I don't know what to do with it. That was actually my first, like, stumbling block.
Yeah, I remember hitting this and, like, kind of going back to the island being like, maybe I gotta do something else.
Yeah, exactly. And then you eventually come back when you, like, try to do straw into dust or something.
Yeah. I think it's FDDE.
I think that's close enough.
I think if FDEE, right?
FDDE.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So here's another funny thing.
And also it uses that extra note that you earned.
Yeah. So here's another funny thing. The VGA version has this rumble, and it like cuts off and then does it. Because what they did with the audio in the game is there was a CD track. They would play part of the CD track, and then they would like rewind and then play another section of it. And so like it's just like that's why you hear all this weird cutting off of the audio, because it's like they just ran audio drama really close together, because there was only, I think, like 20 minutes of CD audio they had on there, because they also put the audio drama from the cassette tape on there too, which is like, isn't it like 30 minutes long?
Yeah, something like that.
So let's go ahead and spin this backwards. You spin me right.
You can also try going into it and you get like thrown all the way back.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
He says don't want to get any closer. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure if you do it repeatedly, he'll like do it. But it's not important, it only slows you down, yeah, see?
Ah!
And it might play, in the VGA version, I think it might play that scream sound. That
don't worry, we will hear it enough times.
Yeah, which is so terrible, because one of my favorite scenes is like...
Wait a second, does this happen in VGA? I don't think so.
I might not, because they cut out so many backgrounds.
Yeah. I think it just jumps you right back down to here. Yeah, I remember that animation, but I don't remember the other one. Oh man, I skipped it. I'm sorry. I should have done that in VGA. It would have looked cooler.
It's all right. We'll see plenty of missing sequences later on, because there will be, especially near the end. We're like, oh my god, why did you cut all this out?
Okay, so let's go ahead and unspin this. So you learn twist, and then you have to play it backwards.
It's like
CFED.
Yeah.
Oh, I can still go through here. All right, we'll see what this one is. We'll just go full screen on VGA because this is going to be epic. And all right, so let's see what we've got here. I did the draft backwards. Here's that scream.
Yep. And it loops too. Or maybe not in this, but in the dragon.
Yeah,
sequence
in the dragon.
loops.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is
look.
there. It
Wow.
is there. Look at that.
All right. All right. Is this also happens on a separate screen? Man, they could have cut that out and used like all that stuff for the end. Which is where it's more important. How many people will
I don't
see
think it was a disk space issue. I think it was a time.
Let's
a
try
time
this
and issue.
again.
Yeah. Probably.
Because there's no dialogue at the end. Right? It's not like they didn't have enough time for screens. It's enough time for animating all these things.
I
So
guess.
FDDE. Oh, it's FDDE, not F. So
Are you sure it's not FDEE?
FDDE. There you go.
Well, that's
so you just gotta
one
play
way.
backwards.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
And those notes popping in, that exactly happens on CD-ROM version 2. It's just part of that audio issue. So there you go. I don't know. I'm kind of digging the EGA graphics here on this one, just on this background here.
See, this is one of those where I don't mind the changes so much because I don't think enough. Like a lot of the intent is changed. That's like a fair upgrade.
But I think I kind of like the style from the EGA better here,
Yeah,
on this screen right here.
EGA palette is kind of like awful too in a way because it's the 16 color CGA palette, it's a CGI text palette in order to provide backwards compatibility. So the colors are kind of garish and stuff. But I like this. This is like also and immediately you get another upgrade just after passing essentially just one screen.
I know. That was hard work.
Yeah, this game was specifically designed to be very accessible at the time where adventure games maybe weren't. So.
Yeah, Sierra had the fuck you sequences all the time. It's like, you want to beat this game? You're going to call the hit line. You're going to be on the hit line for at least an hour. We're going to get another $60 out of you.
On this screen, I'm not... This is like a better upgrade than the Forest ones, because they still left the... Like, I don't know what it is. It's the colors or whatever. I still don't like it that much, but like... I like this better than the Loom Island.
All right, here we go. There's a lot of dialogue here.
They're the same too.
What? Who goes? Well. Looks like a scrawny runt trying to sneak into our flocks.
Sneak! You call that sneaking? I heard them coming all the way in from down.
Thought you were going to fleece some shepherds, did you? Maybe we ought to take the shears to you instead.
Listen, I'm not looking for sheep or trouble. I'm looking for a flock of swans.
Swans?
Swans! You know, birds.
Oh, swans! Of course!
We should have known. Everybody comes here when they want swans.
Next you'll be telling us you're some sort of wizard off to fly away with them birdies.
Right.
Wizard? Wizard? You wouldn't happen to be the great wizard that Fleece was telling us about, would you now?
Fleece?
He is sort of dressed like a wizard.
I don't know. He doesn't look very powerful to me.
Me neither. I say we don't let him by until we know for sure. Come on then, wizard. Let's see some magic. Or else...
So I want to point out something really important there, because I have done a lot of VO recording in the past for previous games I've worked on. Those people were all acting off each other, whether they were in the same booth or in separate booths and having the audio piped in. And because of that, the performance becomes so much better because they're actual actors acting with each other. Versus when you read voiceover lines, you're just in a booth reading lines and they play together, they can be kind of stale. And we did that on Saints Row when we did the wrestling commentators. We would put them in the same room and have them play off each other because it was just that much better rather than them reading the lines back. You just would read a line and be like, what's this in response to? Okay, whatever, right? You would just read a line. And because of that, you notice that one guy jumps in and he says, swans, and then like the other guy like jumps over him and like says that. And so like that's how you can tell that it was recorded that way. Also, there's louder noise in the headphones that I can hear.
I sort of like some of that rewrite. Some of that rewrite I hate. Some of it I like. I don't know. Like some, it's weird. Did I mention already that? Maybe I haven't. Orson Scott Card was the one who rewrote the dialogue. And then this is the invisibility spell here.
Yeah, I gotta write down the spell because they'll go away. He's leaving. Not much of a wizard, eh? Yeah, see, it's like I suck compared to what these guys are doing. G C G C.
Okay, easy enough. And I think it's the same in both.
It's going to be backwards. So like the way that these guys react to you is like so much better.
Come on, lads. He's had enough. Let him go.
Some kind of wizard, eh? Don't trip on your robe, little wizard.
Get on, you lazy bunch of yous. Back to work.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, so invisibility is GC because they go invisible, and then they play backwards, which is CG when they turn on invisible. So there we go. Let's keep going. And so I will say this part is probably where EGA starts to show where its limitations.
But it's what EGA starts showing limitations. I was going to say the VGA starts showing its limitations because VGA has no freaking little swan. Little swan dance played throughout it.
Yeah, but look just like there. Okay, so the story is these guys live in the glassmakers.
It's like you just do it. This thing is just a gradient in deluxe paint. A 5-year-old can do it. What we see on the left is Mark Ferrari could do it at the time, and nobody else could. Okay, so.
But I'm just saying, like, look at this. Look at how hard this is to see what the hell is going on versus on the right. You can tell exactly, like, okay, these are pieces of glass that are going on. And VGA had limitations too. It's not like VGA doesn't have dithering. It's there.
Yeah, but like, it's only dithering because just because no, I will not accept this. I like again more any time there's more music. In this, it's fine. Like VGA version, like it's just like you walking around in a completely just dead silence. Although granted, it's going to cut off here as soon as you use one of the
bells.
The bells, it's going to cut off the music. But like VGA looks a little like jelly. Somebody says in the outlets. It's true. Also, here's the two different. I don't know if you could do it in the.
Bell. I wonder what will happen if...
Also, two different sounds, too.
Yeah, the two different cues, which are also all from the Swan Lake.
I'm dizzy.
But, oh, crap. See, I actually didn't have to do that in the there's an alternate dialogue.
Welcome to Crystal Guards, stranger. I'm Master Goodmo,
if you come in from the other side and you use the cup.
Glassmakers. And who might you be?
My name is
Which you can also fill.
Bobbin Threadbare of the, Noble Guild of Weavers.
A weaver! Tell me, is it true that to peer beneath a weaver's
I don't like this
brings
actor.
instant
I like the
agonizing
actor, I don't like the
death?
direction.
I honestly don't know. Nobody's ever tried it with me. You have such a wonderful view of the sky here. Have you noticed a flock of swans flying this way?
Swans?
Swans. You know, birds.
Yes, swans!
Bobbin is always like... Also, everybody's such a terrible asshole in the VGA version. Like here, like I never... Like, the text in the original version doesn't really give off like a vibe that the good mold is an asshole of any kind. On the contrary, he's always just like, oh, your secret's safe with us, young weaver, and like all that stuff. Like this guy is just like, whoa, for swans. I can understand the shepherds, but like this is a bit too much for me, especially considering like at the end what happens later with him and stuff, and he also acts fairly noble. You know what I mean? Like,
So there's actually more dialogue too when you click on the.
Yes,
here.
And I think it's only a single time. Like if you, let's see here.
Yeah, we'll give it a listen. It's pretty close though. The dialogue's pretty close versus that other one where it's just like, you're right, it got completely rewritten because, and that's the thing, when you're doing voice acting, sometimes you write something and it's just like, oh man, this sucks, and you rewrite it in the booth and it sounds way better, it flows better, it fits better with the character. Sometimes the voice actor has a hard time reading a line the way it's written. It's like, no, I'd rather read it this way, and then they read it, and then you're like, that's good, and then you just go on with it.
Every July the peas grow there.
That's beautiful. I've never seen anything sparkle like that. Not even the long tapestry. What kind of glass is it?
It was carved from a single crystal of diamond.
But I thought you were glass makers.
No, we are. Dear boy, this is none other than the famous Chromax conundrum, wrought by our distinguished founder, Lucent Bottleblow. His works once filled an entire museum.
Love his like raised eyebrow.
That was before the Great Dragon arrived in 7342.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
This is
Great Dragon, not in the EGA version.
There is another one.
Works, plundering our museums and treasuries.
There is another sequence later on that's also added.
Really a miserable time.
Also, what's he holding his stomach
greatest
for?
Masterpiece, the first scrying sphere, was lost forever.
Yeah, well, this is
But you
fine.
still have the
But the other one is just like, he's
And
like, is he
unlucky
like,
thing,
does he have a
too.
stomachache,
It
or
was
is he
on loan in
laughing?
the Guild of
I
Vintners at
get
the
it.
time. It is the sole remaining example of our founder's transcendent genius.
But I'm still curious. Why is it diamond instead of glass?
We've no idea at all. That's the conundrum, you see.
Oh boy.
So yeah,
filling
that was
it.
added.
Yeah, but try filling it in both versions and see what happens.
Okay, Phil.
Fill is DEEG because it's the opposite of empty.
Okay.
I wonder where that dragon went with Bottleblow's other treasures.
I know if you could do it.
Both versions or just one?
Try it in both versions. It's like I think dialogue is altered if you do it first before, if you like come in from the other side and fill the chalice first.
Oh,
like,
really?
You get the completely different dialogue. Well, not completely, but at least some changes. It's been a while since I like tried many different ways.
I got gold, spin, invest.
It's the same. I think it's the same. in
Oh,
both
it's
versions.
GEED.
Yeah, but that's empty. You need the reverse.
Whoops. I think I got both of these. Oh, I did get that one. So it's DEEG.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what happens.
Well, I don't know if because if you didn't have the dialogue when he comes back and he like sort of, yeah, see, he's not going to come in. Yeah, if you didn't have that dialogue, if you came in from the outside and filled it, it would trigger like a different sequence where he comes in and he's just like, you know what you just filled, and he tells you that whole story again, and then like at the end he's just like, you'll empty it before leaving, right? Like,
I didn't know that. I've never actually done that before. I forget. How do you go down on this one?
it's you don't. You can go outside, which is where you need to be to listen to the to the dialogue of the two glass makers. Try it again because I think you're stuck.
Okay.
You stand in there on the right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
This is also before resizing. Monkey Island introduced the
Scaling.
Scaling of the sprites, which they both came out the same year, but Monkey Island came out secondly. So here it's like you would go behind an object and you come out as a different sprite.
So I see these guys up here. Let's give them a look-see.
Well, this is there too. There's also different ways to mess with them in the EGA version, which I don't know if they carried over.
All right, you can mess with them. How do you mess with them?
Well, the solution here is obviously like if you try to walk in, right, and you
so let's go ahead. Let's walk in. Let's show that.
Let's do like the regular. Oh, and this is also important.
The Bishop Mandible thing first. You have to walk underneath, I think, first.
Yeah, you have to like get close to it. Otherwise, he's like, if only I can get a little close or something.
I can barely hear what they're saying.
I trust your excellency
Yeah, this is added.
pleased with our progress.
And it looks like it's like a resized art from somewhere else, right? Like the edges on the sprites are weird.
4 hours, most assuredly. Perhaps 6 with a bit of luck.
Only 6 hours? But I expressly requested 8.
Every sphere is unique, Bishop. It is impossible to accurately predict how well this sphere will perform.
I need at least 8 hours. 8 hours, Master Crucible. See to it.
And that thing where he says the customer's always right. I'm glad that they cut that because that would sound really weird.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, the customer is always right, right? Like you can tell that he's like, that is really serious. Like he wouldn't crack a joke there. And so like you don't know that until you hear the voices. Yeah, Bishop's sneering voice is awesome though.
Voices in my head is very different from what ended up being. Apart from like Hetchel,
I think it's really good. It's really
Hetchel,
good.
Bobbin, and Cygna are the 3 people you hear in the original on the tape. Right.
I think Bobbin's voice is like awesome.
Bobbin is good. So is Hatchel. I like Hatchel's voice as well. So yeah, so what happens? You teleport in, and those guys tell you to leave.
Look! Who are you, lad?
And just what do you think you're doing up here?
I'm not sure. I just rang
very
the bell.
prompt.
Well, I'm sorry,
British.
but you're not supposed to be here.
Step back under the lens, please.
This is a restricted area. No
Okay, this is pretty
allowed.
funny actually.
Good day,
See, I like
sir.
this, both directing and the acting. Like this is very fitting because it's funnier. But yeah, so the solution is to obviously, which this is another weird thing. You cast spell on them, and then they can't see you because of the way the system is.
Yeah, you have to cast a spell on something. You can never cast a spell on yourself
on
until the
yourself.
very end. But so we're gonna select these guys up here. You said you could screw with them. How do you do that? Like, what else can you do besides the invisibility?
Well, you can. Well, you turn yourself invisible first, which is like what gains you access to this room. And I think.
All right, I'll do invis.
You got this, right? It's the same in both.
Yeah.
And you can go into that room and take the invisibility spell off, and there's one reaction.
Doesn't seem to
I think
affect them at all.
I typed it in backwards.
and you can cast a different spell on them, which we haven't learned yet.
I wonder, did it work?
Where do you learn that spell?
Find out.
I mean, all right. So you can cheat. You can cheat because we're ScummVM.
But you learn the scare spell in right after when you go. So on your way back, you can do it.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. All right. So we made ourselves invisible to them, which is the way the spell logic works in this game. And now when we walk up there, we will appear invisible. So still a lot of silence in this game because they don't loop the music in this.
Yes. So you can,
mandible cuts quite
like,
figure, doesn't
yeah,
it?
like here, there's this whole dialogue,
Crucible's getting tired of bowing and scraping to him.
and you can cast
Why would the
invisibility
clerics
on
want a
them,
scrying
and
sphere
they'll like be
anyway?
like, "What the hell?" and they'll
I
like
thought they
escort
didn't
you out
believe in
again.
the future.
Yeah, your guess is as
Or you
lucid
can
as
learn the
mine,
terror
Luke.
spell and use
The
it on
Crucible
them.
appears to think that they're up to no good again.
Then why would he do business with them at all? Let alone sell them a sphere.
Well, you know, Crucible, he'd sell his own mother's spectacles if he thought there was a profit in it. And the clerics are paying off in cash.
Which should keep us in the clear for years to come. Still, I'm certainly pleased that Crucible's not taking any chances.
That's why you
This
need to
side
major
might become very
overtime.
useful
The
if our
dialogue in the
friend
left is
Bishop
actually
was being
funnier,
less
but it's more
than
modern.
transparent with us.
Ouch!
Yes.
They're also not
Very
supposed to be
useful
British,
indeed.
obviously. You see, like all the cut off like endings of the words.
Yeah,
you know, like,
they're supposed to
like,
be Irish sounding still, or kind of like. Do you think they got like a Brooklyn accent?
I don't know. It's like you and me are doing major overtime here. Could be.
All right, so it brings us over to the sphere, which we can look at, and
Several times too.
okay, let's do it.
They're multi-use. I think it's like 3 in each, 3 or 4 in each. All the spheres show the same stuff. But of course, this is the important part.
All right, so I'll pause this one over here. G, F, F, D.
Okay. Yeah,
that's all you get. That's the only sound you get. It's like, because that's all they decided to put in there. I don't know if that's a bug or not. I haven't actually like listened to the audio file like completely through, but like you can listen to it and it's just like all the game audio and sound effects and stuff are just all mixed in there. So let me see if it's any different on this one. F, C, yes. C, F. I'm surprised they didn't play him screaming.
And you can look at it again and you'll get like a different but I don't think any of those are important.
Yeah, let's take a look.
The last one doesn't open up till the end. Yeah, this is another hint for you. All of those are hints for you for what to do. But this is actually, there's an alternate solution to that puzzle, which has been depicted here.
I will have to look at that, because that's what I did on my playthrough, is I always burn it down. Mother Headshell!
This is literally a solution for the end of the game.
Yeah, you could actually be there. Yeah, I know. You do see it at the beginning, but you never get it spelled out on your notes, because you don't have the staff.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
You can get there and don't remember how to cast that spell.
That's right. Unless in the room before last, you can still use the loom to recall it one last time before you go into the thing. But yeah, if you don't, then you are at a dead end.
Yeah. Well, you just keep banging on notes till you get it. All right. So now that we have the fear, we can fear them.
Yeah, try casting them. I don't remember what the reaction is, but I remember that you could do it.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens when we do it here. I have FCCF for VGA.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was the EGA. Did I mess up again? Whatever.
I think you messed up again. And then over here, we've got GFFD.
D. Mm-hmm. No.
Do I have them reversed?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess that isn't a draft.
It's GFFD on the VGA.
Okay. Nope.
I guess that isn't a draft.
That draft wouldn't do much good if they can't see me.
Oh,
it doesn't work in VGA. Because they would have to record dialogue lines for it.
I guess, but I think you can hold on here.
So I can cast Uninvisible.
You can, and then it'll be like,
and then
do it on both versions and see what the dialogue is. Weird that the reaction in one version is on you and the other one's on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop her! Over there! I don't believe this!
Looking for trouble, are you? You're certainly about to find it.
He'll not be the only one in trouble if Crucible finds him up here.
Not to mention what will happen if we get behind schedule. Listen here, lad. We have secret work to do and not much time to do it. Do you understand what secret means?
Yes, but it's very important that I get...
Good! Please step over to the lens.
No.
Stupid brat. You said it.
I like this. This is all of this update. I do like.
I wonder if I cast Fear from outside there because they didn't want to record that voice line.
Well, try it.
Yeah, I'll try it from out here. Okay, so you can cast Fear, which is FCCF EGA.
Mm-hmm.
And then over here, it's GFFD.
It might not work. Again, I'm looking over the notes.
I doubt they'd see me from up there.
Okay, so...
I guess that isn't a draft.
It's a bit cheap.
All right. Well, can we still trigger this in EGA, or what do I need to do?
No, I'm just like, maybe it's just I don't know. I'm looking at my notes here, but maybe I was just mistaken. I have no idea. This all comes from the back page of a Loom hint book, and sometimes the suggestions there are kind of weird. I just sort of like took out the ones I knew that I remembered weren't particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them are still there, and it's on one of them.
Hey, what's up, Sophie? Welcome to the Human Interact stream.
Hello.
We're probably about halfway through Loom right now.
Is it even halfway?
We're almost.
This game is so short.
It's pretty short. But I'm okay with that because like it sets you up with like, oh man, I want to play more like when you're done with it, and they never made sequels to it because of the critical reception was not good when it first came out. And
the commercial reception was probably first and foremost.
Yeah. Francisco, what's up, man? How you doing?
Francisco's here. I thought you were doing the VO recording.
He's doing the VO recording and watching this. That's how important this is. So Francisco Grunoslav in chat, he's working on a game called Lamplight City. It's another point-and-click adventure game, and it's got full voice, huh? Just saying, full voice. Team VGA.
Yeah, but he... all right, so, well, this is fairly obvious now. We literally saw the solution to it.
Mm-hmm.
He's back!
So are we.
All right, let's see if I can get this correct. So
which one are you doing
Fear
first?
On VGA. So
GFFD.
Yeah. I gotta make sure that this actually casts, and him saying like, "Well, I guess that's not a draft," and he says like in a really coy voice, like, "You fucked up."
Oh wow.
I guess that isn't a draft.
All right, so we're gonna cheat. We're gonna cheat. All right, so avert your eyes if you are immune to cheating or don't like cheating. ScummVM, you can hit Shift 3, pull up the console, type drafts, and you can get them all right there. All right, so terror is DFFD.
Oh wow. We both messed it up, right?
Yeah.
Like we both wrote it down. We both messed it up somehow.
Yeah. It's because I said it and you fell me. All right, here we go.
It's gonna be the same like half a second.
No, I sync them up.
No, but I mean the sample.
Yeah.
It's the dragon!
Oh no. Well, that worked. Funny. I don't feel very scary.
I think What Fun would have worked pretty good too. I like that line. What fun. I think that would have worked too if he chuckled.
See, there's music of course in the EGA version, but only until you do your first action though. Here it doesn't loop, it cuts out. Also, you can do different things. You can paint the sheep green and then wake him up.
Let's do it.
And you'll get a different reaction then.
Do you want to hear it voiced or not voiced? Who should be green, EGA or VGA? Because then we can show the difference between the two.
Let's. It doesn't matter. Just do VGA version straight and paint them in the EGA version. It really doesn't matter.
So that way you can't see them because there's only 9 colors.
But it's literally the solution to the puzzle.
All right, so green is DDCD. But then I cut out the music too, which is like it was.
Well, it will always happen. I mean, even after you just.
Where are they? Where do they go?
You have the same version.
Where do they go? Looks good to me. All right, so we have to get the sleep spell here. So you get it from this guy here.
Poor fella. He must have had a long night. Poor fella. Poor fella.
Oh wait, you just click the sheep.
He must have had a long night.
Yes. Hold on, sleep. Was it CDFA?
DEFA.
Mark, how do I mess up the...
Hey, you! Get away from here! Now I've got to go and round them all up again. And you'd better not be here when I get back.
Back!
Look at my sheep, look at them. They look ridiculous.
How am I supposed to watch sheep I can barely see? It's like, EGA sucks, see? Even the game says EGA sucks.
Well, listen, VGA version flat out actually says Loom sucks in it if you look into the resources.
But it was only the Japanese version. It's only the FM Towns version.
No, that's still there. No.
It's in the VGA version too?
It's in the files, in the resource files. It's just never used, but it's there.
Oh, okay. Which due to my sheep. I kind of like the music. I wish I wouldn't have touched it right away, because like the music here is like really nice.
Yeah.
Galex Quest, hello, welcome to the Human Interact stream. We are playing. It's been an hour. We should probably do a little ID. We are playing Loom EGA versus VGA. We're playing both versions at the same time to see which one is the best. Last night there was a little poll that went on for Team EGA, Team VGA. Dosnostalgic stuffed the ballot box with Team EGA and his friends, and now I'm being forced to play both versions of the game at the same time.
With people who are right is what he means to say, and just misspoke. I know that. It's Loom, of course, is the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty.
All right, so we got a big dialogue section here that happens when we talk to the sheep. He's in pain.
Which you can cast Scare on, I'm pretty sure.
What? What?
You can do it after the fact.
Okay.
Because any interaction will trigger a cutscene.
Okay.
Hello there.
Who said that?
I did.
Oh, hold on. Let's sync this up. Hello there. Yeah, so see, the dialogue's exactly the same.
Well, for now.
Yeah.
Although it's pretty short, it might be the same for all I know.
Her
My
VGA
name
character's
is Fleece,
so much better looking,
first
though.
chosen of the Guild of Shepherds. I wish we had time to chat a while and trade some tales, but we have got a serious problem on our hands.
What sort of trouble are you having?
It seems we've a dragon nearby who has
There's also a
enormous
Guild of
appetite for
Mages,
fresh
which is
mutton.
never mentioned
We
otherwise.
breed our sheep for extra whiteness, so we cannot keep them on the meadows. She can spot them miles away. By now, the dragon has carried off so many that we may not be able to fill the cleric's order.
The clerics? I just saw the bishop at the glassmakers.
Bishop Mandible? He placed the order for 10,000 sheep.
10,000 sheep? That's enough to feed an army.
Yes, that had occurred to us too. You noticed our increased patrol in the forest. We'll deliver the sheep to the clerics if we can, but we won't trust them.
I suppose
So there's a
fighting
little
the
bit of
dragon
editing
will be
that's
out of the
happened
question.
here.
Only a mage can save us.
All the music ends abruptly.
Well, yeah, because her next lines probably come in, right? Because once you
well,
say,
it's
like, hey, what's wrong with the
interactive, yeah.
sheep? And then it's just like, oh.
I see you've noticed my little friend.
Oh, my little
She
patient.
doesn't look at all well.
She isn't, and my songs of healing don't seem to be bringing her much comfort.
Cut out the dragon part. They're just weird. Oh, what is this? Fuck.
Heal. I got it.
I wish I were better with him.
So let me get this straight. You're supposed to be the weavers, the ones that are really good with magic, but yet, like, apparently
There's
anybody with a staff can just, like, play musical notes on it. They're like, yeah, I can do magic.
And there's also a Guild of Mages, apparently, which is never seen in this game, right?
I wonder if that's a typo or if they're talking about you. Like, just because of bad dialogue translation, in the recording booth.
Could be.
So, all right, let's fear this little guy.
So terrible.
You said you could do it.
Well, it's on my notes here, but again, I don't know what the reaction is. No.
I guess that draft isn't going to help me here.
See if it works in EGA.
No, so it's just a different line of dialogue.
I did, yeah, FCCF, that's the correct one. And he says, hey, that's not
Okay.
going to help me here, which
Whatever.
means that that's not a solution to this. You can heal him, though, because
Yes.
you're awesome.
That thread's too high for me.
Oh, so yeah, it
If
needs
you
an
get the A.
The flock is out to pasture. You'll find them there. Go forth, wizard, and may you return safely to our fold.
Oh, that's right. You can't.
I think you get the note after you come back from here.
Yeah, you do.
All right, so it's like, hey, we have our sheep out to pasture, but they can see them too easily. It's like, I know, let's reduce the colors.
Dragons have EGA vision as well.
Fleece was right, they do stick out. Let's see if he says anything.
Fleece was right. They really are easy to spot.
Okay, so that's the little trick, and we will do green.
And one of my favorite pieces of music is gone from the VGA version, instead replaced by that scream that's looped several times.
Well, we'll be able to hear both. Totally changes everything!
Well, what have we here? Oh, that's what comes of being in such a blazing hurry, I
Okay,
guess.
I also don't
you
know
wanted
about
it
this voice for the
scrawny.
dragon.
I like the
By
dragon's
golly,
voice.
make a decent kindling.
But of course they add extra animations.
And it's unexpected, though, too, right? Like, the fact that she's, like, a nicer dragon.
I mean, I guess, so there's two alternate ways. Only one of them involves the animation, the extra animation.
Okay. Should we do both through, like, the animation on the VGA, because they have nicer animations, and then just do the other way in EGA, just so we can show the two solutions?
Yeah, just try, because
we gotta play some dialogue, though, first.
Yeah, we do, because there's also a close-up, right? In EGA.
Have you no manners, lad? Stop staring at me.
Oh, was I staring? So sorry.
Oh, don't mind me, love. I get rather crotchety on an empty stomach.
Does that mean you're going to incinerate me then?
Incinerate
Which is weird, like,
you?
it's almost
Oh,
exactly the
my,
same
you the
dialogue, but
foxy
it's
one.
still
I
rewritten.
haven't created any fire.
Yeah, but it's the way she
since
says
my
it. It's
last
great.
mating season, and you don't want to know how many centuries ago that was. No, that's much too much heat for me these days.
You mean you can't breathe fire?
Can't. Let's just say I won't. Just between you and me, love, the stuff gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Come on, that's better. That's better
Yeah,
right
alright,
there.
Fine, I just don't like the voice particularly.
All right, if you don't like her voice, I can understand that, because you're thinking like the dragon's like really mean and tough, and it's like
no, it's not that. I understand the reversal. I just think that they could have. I don't know.
So
I would have done it differently. Is what I'm saying.
So here's one thing here that I never noticed about this. You can walk left and right in this room. There's like all this extra art, and it's kind of cool. It kind of almost lines up right there.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah,
But
I've
there's a
never
path-
done that
there-
before until
but
like
there's a-
last night.
Is there a path?
No, you can't go
down?
anywhere.
There's no
You can't
path
go down. No, the only way to go down.
No, not here, but like in the middle, right? This
Oh,
is a
well, we
path.
can try. Let's go ahead and line that back up. Hey, bitchy.
This is like messes with me where it's like almost the entire panorama on the screen at the same time because we went to like both sides.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
cannot go down.
Well, not
it looked
yet,
like you
right?
could have, but you cannot.
But I think it's all after you. So the idea is switch to the VGA. So the idea is, oh my gosh, my monitor went to sleep. So you
Quite a bit of gold you have there.
That? Oh, that's nothing compared to what it used to be.
Oh, my decorators.
Floor to ceiling it was. Everyone said it was the most beautiful lair anywhere, and right they were too. Then one day, last spring it was, comes along this third-rate wizard who botched up everything. He tried to get the volcano to blow, but only shook up the place in a huge earthquake instead. Broke all my fancy glass, mind you, and made off with most of the gold, too. The only thing he left me was a gorgeous glass ball.
It was talking about the puppy, you know?
Okay. So what you're supposed to do here, one solution is, which involves an extra animation, is you change the straw, you change the gold into straw and make the dragon fall asleep. And the flames from her nose light up the straw.
Mm-hmm. I'll start doing that on VGA because it has a lot of animations right now.
Yeah, it has
And then you can
animation.
tell me what the other solution is for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Gold, which is ECCC.
It might help to point at something first.
And then what's the solution? What's the other solution to do?
You do the same thing, but you intentionally just skip the dream. You change straw into gold, you put dragon to sleep, I think, and then you cast scare on it, and
the
then
way
she
you
like
found it.
imagines
Now.
the flames, but it just cuts out that middle animation.
I see. So we still have to do it on both sides.
Yeah.
Whoops.
What are you doing?
ECCCC for gold.
No, it's an EGA.
Oh,
it's
it's EDDD.
EDDD. Yep.
Gotta like draw straight lines on this. Okay. I like it. It's like, hey, put it back.
All right. So you know what?
It still looks like gold. Still looks like gold.
But like, okay. So one is you can use the, and you got the A. So you can use the.
So I will fear on VGA and then you
that's
fear on EGA. And
fear
sleep.
on EGA, sleep on there, because sleep has more.
Okay.
Which is like what?
Animations. Okay. So sleep.
GEFA, I think.
And then on here we want to do fear, which is FCCF.
FCCF. I think that's enough.
All right, so let's see what fear does.
Oh, you turn into fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this one.
I didn't mean to make her any more awake.
Whoops. Whoops. Sleep.
AFED.
Sheep. Gold. Sheep.
Oh, see, in the EGA version, there's a close-up.
Fire!
In the EGA version, there's a close-up of like her nose next to the Troy, and you see
Haven't heard the last
the
of
flame
me,
actually
you
ignite.
Cheeky brat.
Cheeky brat.
And
Okay,
there we
this is
go.
probably
We can
the
move on to the next
most
section.
this is like the most boring part.
I don't think there's a speed up in here. So,
Control F.
So in this section here, now we're in a dark cave where we have solved this puzzle before. So we're like, oh, this is a Linux system. I know what to do here. And you cast the See in the Dark. Okay.
DDCD. You can actually speed up the game on ScummVM.
But here, you get to hear this cool music.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's an interesting thing, is that there's these tracks that change the way that this feels. Like when it's really silent, it's scary, it's ominous, and with this music,
but
it's
here
more.
it's peaceful, basically.
I wouldn't say peaceful, but it definitely has a different feeling to it.
Yeah. It's not meant to be like as intimidating.
They're saying VGA looks like it has less colors. I mean, there's way more gradients in it. It's just the way that they render these backgrounds, right? Like, because there's an artistic choice that happens. It's not necessarily that like, oh, we'll just throw this in the VGA machine. Like, they didn't make the graphics with this many colors initially. Though there was concept art that probably looked more like the VGA version, to be honest. But I have
But
not
it's
seen
different.
it.
The concept art looks like Sleeping Beauty, because that's what it's meant to be.
So if you walk out to the
Actually,
left here, you can
yeah,
see,
you gotta
right?
do it to the left. Yeah.
And so you get this idea of like, okay, yeah, you're getting a concept of like where you are in the space, which is kind of cool. And what's cool about this is you can actually, I've seen panoramas of this area printed out. It's like, oh, that's what the whole area looks like.
I think the game VGA version does miss out a lot because it doesn't have the music.
Sounds half the picture. I'm gonna be smart and bypass this dead end over here. I know you're like, oh, here comes the boring part, let's speed it up, but I'm like, I really enjoy the tune. Yeah, like the tune, it's like you have like this nice interlude, you know? It's like a montage. But you're not like lifting weights or training.
Well, that's probably why they put that's probably why they put it there, like sort of just like, again, it's a very short, very linear game.
Oops, that scared me a little bit. Ah!
Guess I won't be going back that way.
Oh, look, in one version it's already is that meant to be water?
Yes.
Okay.
That's water.
All right. So in the EGA version, I feel like it's a bit more well communicated.
Yes, it is. But watch the reflections. The way the reflection looks. This is like some DX12 shit right here.
Oh yeah, that's a spell, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
My own reflection.
I missed the entirety of this.
Yeah, me too.
We'll do
VGA first.
Okay.
F A F.
Okay.
My own reflection.
And EGA. It's the same. Okay, so we got lucky on that one.
Good.
So reflect. Good idea.
But also you can empty this.
We can empty this.
And there's another crystal sphere there.
All right, so if we did not touch the empty thing, you cannot actually do this part. So there's optional story in here.
Yeah, but also this is also an optional action.
Yes, so you don't need to necessarily do it. You can't get stuck here per se. So empty is
GEED.
Yeah, it's both.
Oh, well, that's both. But I think at this point the crystal sphere really doesn't show you anything it didn't show you at the glassmakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a different background. Oh no, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not that important.
Can you do it multiple times?
Yeah. Each one of them has about like 3 different scenes, but they do repeat. It's going to be the swan, Cigna.
Hey, just in case you didn't get this, fucking write this down. And let's do it again.
Yes, Loom and the Amiga looks exactly the same as the EGA release, and the Amiga...
Mandible.
Mandible.
You got really tan.
What in the world is he up to?
But there is nothing interesting in the Amiga version, and the music is worse, so... Which is, for Amiga.
That's unfortunate, because like Amiga games almost always
you
have like the better audio.
You could have done like orchestral thing, but they don't do it. Oh, also, they just try the instrument. Amiga only has 3 channels, right? So it's like left, right, and both together.
Yeah.
So they, for some reason, decided not to do like straight. Again, they could have done better recordings with pre-mixed channels, but they didn't, and as a result, it's kind of poor.
All right, and now we are at the end of this little maze area.
All right, that's fine. I'll say while the music was playing, it was fine.
Yeah.
VGA version may be a bit more boring.
All right, here we go. Next test: Team EGA versus Team VGA. I gotta give VGA the hand on this one.
And I like the clouds, I guess. But I like how it's blue. I miss the blue.
It is blue. There's just more blues.
It looks gray to me.
So this one is like.
Repair costs must be spiraling.
Oh wow!
Oh,
gosh.
that didn't get changed. So obviously, untwist is the one you want to do here, which is like I like immediately saw the answer to this when I saw it.
Yeah, wow, we are dangerously close to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, darn, this game is short.
Well, it's short once you know all the all the solutions.
Even
and
if you
everything.
don't, it's under 2 hours, no matter what you do, because there's just not that much to do and it's very linear. Which is
I'm okay
fine.
with that though, because
I'm
like
also
the
okay
world
with
that they give you, like
It's
you
the
get sucked
story
into
that
it so
matters.
fast, and the characters are like, especially I feel like the voice adds a lot to the characters.
I mean, let's face it, Full Throttle is the same way, and like it took like nearly it took 5 years for people to catch up. Like with Full Throttle, everybody remarked on its shortness, but everybody's like, "This is great and amazing." With Loom, people were like, "Oh, it's really short and stuff, and linear and cool." And then
I think it was before its time.
Yeah,
Definitely before its time. So, big difference here.
Yes.
You'll notice that the sleeping boy is in 2 different areas. So let's go ahead and trigger this cutscene here.
One of my favorite close-ups in the game is not from this, but from a later interaction with Rusty.
So let's start Rusty.
He's fast asleep.
And can you look at the guild from the?
You do eventually in the cutscene. Wait, no, it's the cutscene.
No.
He's asleep, so you know what? You can't kick him because you're nice, but you can cast a spell on him. I can just imagine that spell is just like the NBA on NBC theme playing, like just really loud, but it's just inside their head. Not only 90s kids will know. I had a friend in college that used to wake us up on Sunday after a heavy night of drinking to that song.
I see in chat, Sleeping Place, VGA wins. You can't miss them. Yeah, I would too like to take a nap right by a bunch of graves. See, like to me, the more logical place is an EGA.
Hello there. What's that? Your music woke me up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, not to worry. I'm Rusty Nailbender.
I'm Bobbin Threadbare, of the Weavers.
Weavers, eh? Our folk are blacksmiths. I'm supposed to be getting firewood for the master, but this plateau's been picked cleaner than a new blade. Come over here. That's us down there. The forge. That's what we call it.
Yeah, and like, look at all this walking. That's why they moved him, see? That's the forge.
Do you really need to make a short game even shorter?
But you weavers don't get out much. What's your business here?
Audio.
I've been looking for a flock of swans.
Swans? No swans around here. Oh, say, all this talk has made me sleepy. A real pleasure, though. Oh, let me know if you find your swans. Oh.
Yeah, the EGA version looks epic considering the colors available.
Yes.
Like there's very little color in the background. And yet, like so much detail is put into those. Like very careful.
So there is a grave here that we can look at. Where is that grave? There it is. Rise from your grave.
These grave markers are forged from solid bronze.
So there you go.
Of metal.
A little bit of detail there. VGA adding the detail.
My gosh, why did I set my monitor sleep time to like 5 seconds?
So this guy is gonna just like walk all over.
And look at those. Those backgrounds look almost identical.
Just me, a friendly stranger?
This is a private guild, my strange young friend. The gate only opens for members.
Okay, so we will not be able to get in because they don't trust the Weavers. But they do trust this little kid up here who's sleeping. So I believe that we could reflect ourselves onto him and see what we get. I'll do this one first because it's oh, it's the same on both.
Yeah.
It might help to point at something.
Gotta do all this walking, man. Speedrun. You gotta speedrun the VGA version of this game. You can go to ADGQ.
Most LucasArts games can actually be speedrun under 40 minutes. Except for, I think, the Dig.
Hello, young nailbender. About time you were coming home.
Yeah, see, he doesn't say
Stokes
anything.
been looking for you, and he ain't real
Francisco's
happy.
asking, can you get a close-up if you look at him? At first, always
You
on
better
both
get in
versions.
there right now.
Oh, you mean after he's changed?
I can go back really quickly.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I don't know
Let's
if
take a
it's
look.
like the VGA version. But so far, like, in the VGA version, the cuts are, like, justified by dialogue, right?
There's
Well,
a cut, there's a close-up later in the game.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's for sure, but it's the same
He's
close-up,
fast
right?
asleep.
Yeah, there's no
there's
anything
no
there.
close-up.
Nope. Good question though. Give it a shot. Oh, is he gonna talk to me again? Does he have more dialogue?
You still out here, lad? I wouldn't keep Stoke waiting if I were you.
All right, let's get in there.
I think also a whole bunch of dialogue is here. And, of course, this.
All right, so let's give this. Let's talk about
This
what's
is
happening
good.
here because there's a lot of audio that's going on. So
Yes.
on the right on the VGA, you've got just this happening, right?
Which is just a short loop.
Yeah, and it's just
Over and
hitting over and
over.
over again. On the EGA version, you've got just the music.
Yes.
And so we're gonna play both of them together so we can get the best of both worlds. And it's also the scenes are synced up right now too, so. So yeah. Yay for technology. I'm like running like 3 mice over here.
Yeah, actually, Robert on chat points out, this is what used to make my one-speed CD drive go apeshit. I can imagine, because
Yes.
this is a very short loop being repeated over and over.
Yeah, I remember like ting, ting, ting. Like you just, yeah, you get the pause. Yeah, I remember that. So none of these guys you can touch or look at. They're just, I mean, they're just background. You're just walking through here and it's kind of like, look at what are these guys called?
The blacksmiths.
Look at what the blacksmiths do. Blacksmiths OP. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our next dialogue scene.
Yeah, this is like a giant change, I think. I think most of the dialogue is gone.
4 hours ago for firewood, and you bring me back one scrawny stick.
Yeah, and he also
of course
talks
If I
too.
weren't the foreman, I'd toss you in the furnace. You're just like the use downstairs with the bishop right now. If that fire goes out and the cleric's swords don't get done,
I'm sorry, I had a bit of trouble.
perhaps you'd like to offer your confessions to the bishop.
I do
in
like that
person.
close-up a lot.
Yeah, it's really
Like
good.
the way
Now
it
give me
moves,
that
too.
stick. I'm done dealing with the likes of you, Nailbender. I'll be back, and you'd better hope the furnace doesn't go out.
What a mess. I can't do anything without my distaff.
I know, your interface is gone.
And I think the close-ups are done by Steve Parcell, right? If I remember correctly.
I'm not sure. So the only thing you can really do in here is just look at this door
It's locked. And me with no distaff.
and then say, this hay looks kind of good.
Yeah. Let's do what Rusty would have done. Just like,
Yeah. So this scene right here is interesting to me because like this is like one of the first scenes in any video game I've ever played where I felt like seriously guilty and bad
Yes,
for what I did.
absolutely.
And I'll play it out and you guys can see why.
That straw looks awfully comfortable, though. Oh,
There's some sound
it
effects,
must
too.
have a sleep draft woven into it.
Imagine frightening a poor defenceless old thing like me. Core. Well, I may not be much good with fire, love, but I still enjoy the taste of tender, firm young meat.
One blasted stick of...
Oh man, it's off screen in the VGA version.
Yeah, so here we go.
Boo hiss.
It's off screen here too.
Well, it's at least you get. The
But you
close-up.
see,
It's
like,
out,
take a look
and
at what
you-
happens here.
yes,
Like, you get to see
yeah.
all this stuff happening. It's not in
Yes.
VGA at all. It's like,
Is
hey,
the rescue
Rusty,
of the
yeah.
distaff is also shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that
Okay.
bad? 10,000 swords to forge, and the furnace is about as cold as my chances for promotion.
Oh yeah. So like, actually, I'm going for it a little bit too much. Yeah. So he says the fire won't keep warm much longer. He throws the wood in there, and then he starts complaining about the whole thing. Yeah.
Is it the same joke in there? Probably not, right?
Here goes my new office
new
furniture.
office furniture.
Real nice of that Weaver kid. Just
Oh wait, there's like so much that happens in EGA that's like just totally cut out. So here we go, yeah. No, Weaver Kid did this to me, yeah.
wait until his turn comes. I'll be waiting for him on the outside.
And they didn't show that happening over there.
Oh, and here
That means
she comes out, yep, from the other side. Okay.
God, there's just like so much that's like happening. Pity has to die. Someone has to die for me to return. Yeah, so that she comes out of the warp, right? Instead of in here, she's like, oh, I'm just around, you know?
No, she comes out of the warp in both versions.
There was no warp in VGA.
It was off screen, but like...
Okay.
Elder Atropos saw his Starfleet.
Oh, wait. So she sees the bird symbol coming out of the smoke, and that's what triggers her to go inside of there instead of just like, hey, I'm here. I'm like, I'm okay with both versions. It totally makes sense either one you play, but there's definitely a lot more lead up and intelligence to this one. And this scene's completely cut over here on the left.
Missing.
Yeah, this one's
like,
completely
I'd rather
missing.
them keep this. Like, I don't know about the swan smoke. I'm not sure. Like in this world, even I find that a bit of a stretch. Like every time, this one has the built-in mechanism for warnings if it's burning. I don't know. But yeah, I do miss the.
Bird. Let's not singe the feathers.
I love that line.
By the way, all the art still exists in the resources.
In VGA?
Pretty sure.
Really? They just so they did the artwork, they just didn't implement it
Well, they
because
did
of
the
the
artwork
audio.
because there's like 3 different versions, 3 different conversions. So like there's the Femtowns version, you know, that keeps most of the art.
So now we can get back on with the game. He never says I'm back in business. He has no line. He just picks it up. It's like, okay, you got it. And it's just like, oh, I feel bad because like I got in here, but like I got that kid killed. So
Which is a bummer.
ECED. I think I messed it up.
I guess that isn't a draft.
It's very much like a Force-like feeling. Zybel guy says, I thought the smoke would really not be there. More of a symbolic that she feels it.
Could be.
Could be,
I
yeah.
never thought of that. If that was the intention, I don't know. It was not communicated to me.
So now we
You can turn Destroy into gold, absolutely. If you feel bad for Rusty, but
Not a.
Does he? It's pointless, though, right? Like, there's no.
yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go to this next section here, and they actually made this easier on the CD-ROM version.
Did they?
All right. So, like, first of all, that's what you get in EGA.
It gets the job done.
So we're gonna turn that down because it some things did not age well.
I can't hear him over that noise.
The final blade is even now in the hands of our most skilled blade shaper, Your Excellency. How's it coming there, Edgewise?
I'm just putting the edge on the last sword, sir.
I'm all of a sudden
No slacking off
questioning
now.
at which point do you get the sharpening
finished.
spell.
You share with me a historic moment, Foreman. The forging of the 10,000th sword marks the end of our preparations. How much longer must I wait?
You can use both twist
Or sharpen
twist
backwards.
or sharpen backwards to continue here.
Very good.
Both
then.
make sense.
Carry on.
I never got the sharpen because I never touched the blade.
The scythe, yeah. And now I'm questioning is do we get it later?
You don't need it for anything but here.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So I'll go ahead and I will.
Twist it.
Yeah, you can twist the blade. So you can do it anywhere. You don't have to wait for him to hold it up. In the EGA version, if he's
You
not holding
have
it
to-
up, he's like, I can't play music with all this banging. So I'm trying to figure out where twist is on here. Spin.
I get it.
FTDE. So
Yep.
it's two. Oh, he won't spin it in here. Oh, it's the same for both. I'm sorry. So I have to wait for him to hold it up and then go. Just really quickly. I think you have to trigger the dialogue again, and then he pulls it up really quickly.
Edgewise, is that blade not ready yet? His Excellency is still waiting.
The metal is proud, sir. It does not yield easily to my blows.
More sweat will soften it, I trust.
It will be a blade to be reckoned with.
The Blade of Reckoning. It does have a certain apocalyptic ring to it.
Such good acting.
I do like Mandible, yeah.
Good metal rewards patience, exalted one.
And our client rewards quick service. Now pound!
Okay, so now I can select it and do FDDE. And I will pause this so I can sync up the animations. Because I got to get these guys to talk now. So we can just hear. There we go. Just remind you what that sounded like. Still pounding edgewise. Yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard to like try to do the voices after you hear such talented people do this.
Or Reverend one.
Oh, I can do a lot of talking.
Dog pound. It's shorter, actually. It's actually shorter.
Oh, geez. That's really... You have to go over here to do it and then go over there. It's DEFC.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's... Okay.
Yeah, so you have to do it in the middle of dialogue, so it's a little different, right?
What evil is this? A witch's curse has twisted the final blade.
A curse, Edgewise? I think not. It would take more than a mere witch's curse to ruin my plans. You there! Could it be that this little prank is of your doing? Yes? Well then, I would be honored to have you as my guest at the cathedral.
You know who he sounds like a little bit?
I know some other.
Go look it up on IMDb because I bet he's acted like a ton of Disney films.
No, but he reminds me the actual specific choice of voice is the in a Clockwork Orange, his counselor. Oh yes, my boy.
Tired.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Bishop Mandible, trans-ultimate apostle of the anti-secular conclave of clerics.
I know.
So there's actually music about. So I'll play this just the VGA.
Silence, you impudent punk.
This is my assistant, Cobb.
Charmed, I'm sure.
And you require no introduction. Your cloak and staff betray your origins. But I must say I'm surprised to find you here. It's been quite a long time since any weaver bothered to leave that dreary little rock you call home. Loom.
I am wearing my Ask Me About Loom badge, if anybody did notice, on the wrong side.
I can't help but
and of course my
wonder what
monitor goes out again.
impelled you to leave it now.
His Excellency asked you a question.
I know. I'm ignoring it.
Recalcitrance. I see.
Shall I fetch the instruments of persuasion, Master?
Additional
Please
animation.
forgive my assistant his eagerness. I fear Cobb is not very worldly. He does not understand the dangerous power of a weaver.
Dangerous? Your Reverence. Him?
Quite dangerous indeed, my dear Cobb. In fact, he could burst this flimsy iron cage open with hardly a second thought.
That's impossible, most exalted one. I inspect the locks personally every fortnight.
Observe and learn then, for even now your prisoner plans his escape.
All right, so that'll be a good place to. Now let's play the EGA version and be like, okay, let's see where we got on that one. Yes. Okay, so
yay.
So it's the same music though, but
yes,
the music doesn't transfer over because it's not MIDI. So there's a lot of differences in terms of like story as well, and the way that the guys are doing. I mean, some of the lines are the same.
It's kind of the same, but the tone is slightly different. Again, like without those voices, their personalities are kind of like when you
have
read
to imagine
that
them,
text, yeah, but they come off a bit different because of the way the text is written.
It burst it wide open without a second thought. I expect a lockdown every Tuesday instead of every fortnight. Yeah, see, like they really got into character instead of just like Tuesday. So now here we are. Let's go ahead and go back to both. And now we have to open up the cage. But what's cool is we have some music playing because, yeah, EGA. Yeah, EGA. I don't know. I still think it's impressive what they did with the EGA on the graphics here, but like, it's just the VGA just looks so much nicer. When you're trying to do all those gradients like that of one color, it's one thing. It's different when you're doing like those dark trees. I think they had to do that because it's like a limitation. And so when they did the VGA translation,
approach it artistically. I mean, there's a better transition. Like I like out of all the VGA upgrades that like I think like Last Crusade is probably the most poor, and the Secret of Monkey Island is probably the best one.
Oh yeah, Monkey Island 1 VGA is like amazing.
I still prefer the EGA version, but I still like those are their like Last Crusade is like old deluxe paint gradients and terrible.
An elusive breed, these weavers. Fortunately, however, they're quite helpless without their weaving sticks.
That distaff will never work for you.
Oh no, my young friend, you're quite wrong about that. Come, let me show you why.
Also, it's weird to have the Bobbin voice be so assertive all of a sudden.
The boundary between the living and the dead.
He is the bad guy, though.
Indistinct.
Every graveyard's like that. So
now, imagine. What
so here's a close-up VGA only.
This is new, but again, it's the same like resized
the same art style.
art. Yeah, but like it's resized, right? Like I always feel like in both of those extra cutscenes, it feels like they shrunk down the art in some editor because of the way the edges are. You know what I mean?
But it is that simple, my boy, and I can. I have only to lift this rod, and the legions of the dead will stream forth onto the plane of the living.
I love his smile in the EGA version.
Nourished by the shepherd's flocks, armed by the artisanship of the blacksmiths, guided by the glassmaker's sphere, all under the spiritual leadership of one supreme commander, me!
Such a thespian.
The final hour is now at hand. The age of the clerics is upon us.
So they are the clerics, right?
I have
Not the mages, though. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Don't let this boy out of your sight.
But clerics don't do magic.
To touch nothing.
He can do magic.
You understand
he
me?
can do magic only because he stole your distaff.
Your Excellence. Lord Mandible, ruler of the universe.
It's like some bear twisting shit right there.
I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, see, he's like...
I have to change my station.
They did leave that joke in there, the stationary joke in there.
You're not so dangerous now then, are you?
So, a little bit different in terms of the editing, but still, like, the same thing happens in both.
Yeah.
Where he steals the distaff, he's going to open up the realm between the land of the living and the dead. He's going to cast a level 1 spell. You've been casting, like, level 10 spells this whole time. And he's just figuring that out. So we have to get out of here while Cobb...
But we should, yeah, he won't let you go. Try look at the... There's really not that many things to do. Just you try to look at the sphere and he makes that deal with you. I don't even know if there's anything what you could do.
I think I'll stay out of her way.
So what's really interesting is the close-up of Cobb, which is in the EGA version, they use as a temp in Monkey Island. And that's where the pirate comes from, where he says, ask me about Loom, because they put the sticker on him, they put a pirate hat on him, and they were just like, there you go, fuck it, that's our character you talk to, because he's not that important, right? Like,
which is funny, when Steve Purcell was redrawing the, there's the VGA update of the close-up exists in the FM Towns version and TurboGrafx 16 version, and in the resources of this game. But when Steve Purcell repainted the close-ups for the VGA version of Monkey Island, he didn't use that. It looks completely different.
Got it. All right, so let's go ahead and do this right here.
Keep away from that. His Eminence said not to touch
And
it.
here, there's a big
I wasn't gonna
difference.
touch it.
We're not playing on expert mode, though.
Yeah.
looking, eh?
No, well, in the
Well,
VGA
then,
version, it's always there.
perhaps we can do a bit of a
And
try.
on the EGA
How
version,
about
it's
I
only in
let you
expert
look in the
mode.
sphere
If what?
Well,
Cobb!
the legends say that to gaze upon an uncloaked weaver brings death. Naturally,
This is weirdly
we
creepy, right?
clerics aren't given to such silly
Uncloaked.
superstitions. But I'm curious. Let's answer this one once and for all, shall we? No!
Yeah, in this one, you played animation, right? It's the same animation in the EGA if you play on the expert.
please?
And here, just
Yeah.
off screen.
Say fools, how am I supposed to invoke the dead with all the screaming in there?
Screaming in there.
Begin to invoke the dead with all that screaming.
He does say that, though. Yeah.
Well, he can't say he wasn't warned.
Sophie's going like, no, Cobb, no! Cobb, he died for our sins, so he
But
could be in
also-
Monkey Island.
In Monkey Island, it's Cobb. The word Cobb is written on
Yeah,
his
it's written
pirate
on- yeah.
cat, but it has 2 B's in there
Yeah.
for some reason.
Well, it sounds very piratey. It's like, just put a second B on there.
I think Steve Purcell also named them. Like, it wasn't Brian Moriarty. I think in his talk it's pointed out that he was like, what's that guy's name supposed to be? And Steve Purcell was like, Cobb.
I see Cobb has been lax in his duty. No matter. You're just in time to witness
Text
the
switch
dawn of
color.
a new era.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't have the slightest idea of what you're doing. The pattern is already worn and frayed. If you rip a hole in it now, the consequences will be beyond anything you can imagine.
Spare me your weaver mysticism, boy. The time has come when the dead shall no longer envy the living.
And so here comes some cool shit.
Oh, the best animation is coming
Yep.
up. Also courtesy of Steve Purcell.
So there's some music that's
Torn the
open,
pattern
or on,
completely open.
that's not here.
And with it, the eyes of the dead.
Yes, and the dialogue is different here completely, I think.
About this.
Yeah, Bobbin's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Who dares disturb the peace of those who sleep?
I welcome and greet you, noble spirit. I am Bishop Mandible, trans-ultimate apostle of the anti-secular conclave of clerics. And whom have I the honor of summoning?
I don't think I want to be part of this conversation.
No
It's gonna nope the fuck out.
Summoning of yours, foolish mortal. I have summoned you. I am chaos. You have merely
This close-up was too good to, like,
Yeah.
to kick it out with all the rest.
For
Yeah.
this, you shall be rewarded. Join me now as my slave.
And what's funny is, like, this animation style is the same way they did the pirates even in the VGA version of Monkey Island.
Monkey Island.
Ah! Whoa!
And also,
It's-
this is amazing animation.
fucking
Also,
metal.
the only one is when in the Monkey Island there is one as well when the guy explodes and the chuck comes out of him, which is very similar but not quite as gruesome, but
So let's-
also very well
so
done.
let's go ahead and take a look at the EGA now.
EGA, the dialogue is completely
Yeah,
different.
it's completely different. So it's like, man, the dialogue changes a lot from there. So let's go ahead
But
and do
also, I don't like the Chaos's voice. It just somebody put through like deharmonizer. Sounds like from Evil Dead.
I liked it. I thought the voice was cool.
It's like literally just the Evil Dead voice. Like
So Chaos, that's Red,
Yeah,
or
this
is that
is it.
Unmake?
it's
You know what's funny?
I
It's like
think
it looks almost the same in EGA and VGA. It's like,
it's the same. They just painted it was too good to touch. So
yeah, they didn't need to.
they- now you get your this stuff back.
And it's like, he does make a joke about this though when he comes back.
I can't seem to hold on to this thing.
All right, so let's go in here. You're trying to figure out what to do. Shit just
Oh, yeah,
got
and
real.
this
He
is-
just opened up everything.
And all you do, yeah, he just cast like a massive open spell from what
Yeah.
it seems like. Like the side effect is, and all you do is like there's nothing to do in this room.
Yeah, so you just.
I mean, you can actually look into the sphere again, but it's not important.
Yeah.
And then this happens.
It's just like, wait a second.
Stop!
That's why it's so weirdly abrupt, because it's literally second half of a different line.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So as we go through here,
you have to.
You're gonna turn into a space janitor. It's gonna be kind of like a Space Quest thing here, where we need to clean some shit up. So we're in the other realm here, and we can actually cast open and backwards.
Oh yeah, wait. Chat is pointing out that I'm blocking the VGA version.
Oh.
Yes, I am the winner. Oh,
thank you. Okay, so ECED, so DEDC. So I got to cast that a bunch of times. I'm going to write it down because I can get that confused.
Yeah, and we're essentially in the final stretch.
Mm-hmm. We're probably about 20 minutes out from finishing the game.
Yeah,
I need to choose
2 hours, and we're playing 2 versions. So as you can see, if you haven't played this game, it's DECE, right?
Yeah, thank you. DC. So Kusi is saying that adding clouds to the VGA version of the stars wasn't a great idea. I am not as happy with this change because it feels like you're in outer space rather than like in another zone. I mean, they added it so that it's easier to see when you're moving around, so there's better parallax with scrolling, but like,
right.
I do not agree with this change here.
Me neither. It's not meant to be a starry sky, right? It's meant to be just you are literally on the other side of the of the universe, but also all the other elements are, it's all about the stars. Oh, the angry Rusty.
Is that you? You don't look at all well.
I'm not well. Actually, I'm dead.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say a thing. What do I matter? I'm just another one of the dead.
Oh, Rusty, I feel terrible. I didn't know.
And that's not even the end of it. I go outside.
And here we go.
Ghost see. But no sooner do I get settled again, but some stupid idiot shreds the universe apart and hauls us all back inside. There are a lot of very unhappy dead wandering around here, let me tell you.
I know. I was there when it happened.
I might have known this was all your fault.
No, it wasn't me. The bishop managed this one all on his own.
Yeah? Well, there's going to be hell to pay, literally. There's talk among the dead that they're going to take over the world, starting with the Forge. My home, where we used to build strong things, good things.
Yeah, so like that's weird. Like it just cuts off right there. There's just a lot of dialogue that gets cut out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool though with the lightning. They didn't show it for very long. You know what? Like it's probably there, but it's just like you can't even look over there anymore in VGA.
It's also kind of surprised me. What was the purpose of like turning the Forge all cloudy? They fly it around. It basically turns into the Death Star. Yes, but that never happens.
They show it moving into a different area.
Bones.
I guess.
Yeah. So we need to cast Heal. Which is the same on both, thank God.
It's the little things.
You did it.
Oh, hold on, did I screw that up? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I only have one written down. Well,
cheat.
Yep. Avert you gaze.
Yeah. Let's see. Healing is ACCA.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh. That's what. Oh, okay. What was it? Was it in VGA?
CAAC.
Huh. Oh wow.
You did it.
Also, Bobbin is mighty powerful if he can like.
Is what you wanted, isn't it?
Well, they explain it here.
Well, of course, yeah. It's because they're so close. Yeah, because there's an
Healing your body was easy. You're alive because the pattern is torn and your soul was free to return to this side.
Well, I must go, Bobbin. I've got to know what happened to the rest of my guild.
And I must do the same. Good luck, Rusty. And be careful.
Good fortune to you too, my friend.
Yeah, my guild's got a raid tonight. We got to get those epic perps, don't you know? Man, language has changed a lot, hasn't it? So we are moving on. Oh man, my phone is blowing up. People are like, "Hey, can you do this South by Southwest stuff?" The people asking me for interviews, but we must continue. We must finish this.
There.
I know we're
even
almost
though even though it never really finishes, there are supposed to 2 more games afterwards.
I screwed that up.
I need to choose my drafts more
carefully.
So yeah, now we're just cleaning up stuff and moving on.
There's a game called Forge. I mean, officially there isn't. There was supposed to be. And Forge and Flock were supposed to be the 2 sequels.
So here's where a lot of differences come in here.
There's a lot of differences in here. There's no blood.
The dead have increased their numbers here. Those not dead are suffering. And my songs were again useless. All that's left for us is to put an end to their misery. Come, and extend your help
Bless you.
if you can.
Extend your powers if you can. All right, so let's heal these guys.
It might help to point at some.
Can you wait? Hold on. Before casting the spell, try. My notes say try casting dye green on the corpses. I don't know if there's going to be a reaction, but
all right, let's try it.
It's DDCD in this version.
Yeah, this guy's house is on fire. That wouldn't be very respectful. Yes, Anatoly.
Everybody is putting links to the Forge game in the chat. Well, yes, there's fan game. There's like
a fan game sequel to this.
Yeah,
which I want to try. I want to try it. So, hold on, I gotta heal these guys. ACCA. Oh, the sheep are still green.
Please, what became of us? I was just walking among legions of dead.
You were saved by the mercy of yonder boy. We have not had the chance to thank you properly, wizard. But our memories are long, and we will not forget you soon. Hail and farewell. Come along now, before the dead ones return to the harvest.
It's a shame that they had to cut the music in and out, because the VGA sounds like they've got a lot of really cool music going on with like the melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
They could have done something pretty awesome with it.
There's a lot of missed opportunities in the VGA version. Could have been a good update, but I don't know why there's so many. I mean, I can understand some of the technical reasons, but also like the art direction could have been more consistent. A lot, and just generally.
Well, the remake of Monkey Island 1 is like that too. There's like all kinds of inconsistent art direction, but then when it sold a bunch, they cared, and then they were like on Monkey Island 2, it's like it's perfect. I don't care that Monkey Island 1's like kind of weird like that too. I'm fine with it.
You know, Tim Schafer was in charge of that update of the
second one.
No, Monkey Island VGA.
No. I'm talking about the remake, the remaster of Monkey Island 1.
The remaster of remaster of Monkey Island 1 is terrible. But also, I've since then learned that it was made for like no money at all. Like literally,
yeah.
2/3 of it was done without like LucasArts even knowing about it. So
this guy he talks to you, but like is there anything you can do here before I touch him, because then he'll disappear afterwards?
Let's see here.
I think you just touch him and he just starts talking.
You can try to heal him, but I think it doesn't work. Yeah, I remember doing that. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, they painted out the blood splatter right on his face.
Alright, so let's try to heal this guy before you talk to him. There it says save your magic for the
Master Good Mold.
By the way, I love this background, especially in the EGA version. That rip
At least
distortion.
you've escaped the terror of the dead ones.
It appears the Crystal Guard has not been so fortunate. But I don't understand.
And I think
Why
that's
did you
missing.
not use the
No, it's in there. It's just
scythe?
animation is completely
We
different.
never doubted the scythe could save us. No, never, no indeed. Even chaos must fall under its blade. But we could not do it. To unleash such merciless evil would show us to be no better than our enemies.
Completely different
The
dialogue.
world would have feared us when it was done. And to have become so much like our enemy was unthinkable. Just unthinkable.
And so you didn't use it?
We knew the price. The best we could hope for was to
he kills the
defend
two
it
dudes?
bravely.
Yeah, watch.
But we are not warriors.
You mean
Or she kills it.
Chaos stole the scythe?
So yeah, they just show that animation going through,
Oh,
It was not
and then
enough.
back
I
out.
see. Well, at least it's new.
Remember us, my young friend.
It's based off the other animation though, when they grab the thing.
Tell the word. But we fought with courage and chose death with clarity. Above all else, clarity.
Oh, they actually sync up at the end.
I paused it.
But he's also clearly dead when he like turns his head and he's
Yeah.
like,
So here's another thing too, I would say, because this guy has way more dialogue than in the EGA version. My guess is they really like this voice actor and they're like, yeah, just go for it. Just go. Oh, it's so good, right? And so whoever was directing those sessions, sometimes you just have an actor or an actress and they're just like, they're knocking it out of the park. And it's just like, screw it, we have to have this. This is so good.
Which is funny because I said I don't like his normal dialogue, but here he's really good.
Mm-hmm. So let's DC this up. So what I really like about this section of the game is you go back through all the places you just were.
Right, and see how affected they've become.
Yeah, and like now, like those people you might have not cared about as much anymore, now you care about them because you feel responsible for all of this.
It's a really good game. Like the one of the like first games of that sort of graphical point and click that made a bet towards like story before anything else, and it created that world and stuff. And it's only that world that's really pushing. I mean, the puzzles are very simplistic.
All right, so now we're coming upon, Swan Lake.
Here we go. Yeah, it all culminates in like
Welcome, Bobby.
in that. Yeah,
You have
there's no
joined
music
us here
in
at
that.
last.
In the EGA, sadly.
You are outside the pattern, the home of the dead, and of those transcended.
The Shore of Wonder?
Yes, Bobbin, the shore of wonder. And you are the first to behold it with mortal eyes.
All right, here we are. So there's actually more dialogue too. I can talk to the
Signa.
goose. So Signa is like, she's like, this is the first time you meet her, right?
Yes.
Your journey has been long, and you
this
must
is
have
the
many
big
questions.
reveal,
You're the
which you would have
swan
known
that
if you
appeared
were
each year on my birthday, aren't you?
from the
You saw me clearly then.
audio,
I was never sure, but those
story.
visits meant so much. My only chance to watch you grow. You see, the elders forbade me to set foot on Loom Island just after you were born.
I thought you came to visit me, but I never quite believed it.
Call it a mother's curiosity. For indeed,
And like
Loom
that
child,
bow.
that is who I am.
My mother is a swan?
Indeed. I was Lady Signa Threadbare.
It's like a
banished
running
by the
joke
elders
through
17 long
through
years
LucasArts
ago
games.
For drawing an unforeseen infant out of the loom. How I've longed to know you, and you to know me, my son.
Liar. That's just not true. My mother is buried in the weaver's graveyard.
Dear Hetchel, she and the elders put that stone there so you wouldn't ask too many questions. Hetchel vowed to protect you forever, Bobbin. She is my dearest friend, and she loves you very much. But I fear her love has driven her to recklessness.
What do you mean? Where is she?
She flew off to Loom Island to confront the dead ones.
The dead ones are after her?
It's not Hetchel they're after, my son. They want the loom itself. If Chaos masters its secrets, the pattern will be hers to control. Hetchel plans to destroy the loom if Chaos doesn't consume her first.
No, I've got to go back there, now!
You won't get far in that direction. The loom lies beyond the lake. No, you must try a more subtle strategy.
Oh. What do you propose?
The dead ones move between the holes your bishop friend rent in the pattern.
So
That's
your,
it?
that's your clue to like close
was
up
like,
things. Yeah. So you're supposed to go back and close up all the holes, but I
Yeah, well,
just
we
saved
knew
you a
what to
click
do.
and we just did it for you. So
the whatchamacallit, also, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, but the best Loom jokes in LucasArts games. I mean, there are many, pretty much one in at least each game, but my favorite one is probably in Curse of the Monkey Island. Do you remember that one?
Which one are you talking about?
It's the one at the end where you confront the LeChuck at the roller coaster. And
it's like, and I've got one thing to tell you, and it's like, what? This is my mother's a swan or something, or you are my father.
No, it's that too, because it's always slipped into the dialogue. But it's like you talk to LeChuck and he's just like, and Chuck is like, I will never be forgotten. I'm LeChuck, the mighty pirate, and blah 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 blah. And like Guybrush goes, do you remember Bob and Thread? Have you ever heard of Bob and Threadberry? He's like, no. So there.
So there you go. That's why the ship is there, because it's flying right out there.
Oh yeah,
it's right outside Loom Island. So you're like, why is it flying? And you see it there just for a brief shot, but like it doesn't really matter because it's like you know that they're there. But
are they gonna go buy the tapestry? Try to like ungreen the green tapestry,
no, you can't.
Or is it just cut?
It just cuts right here, which is good, in my opinion.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Because it would take you 10 minutes to walk down the hallway.
And this is where you're like, yep, this is a spell again, just in case.
Yeah. Those are the same 4 threads spun by the elders.
And it's the same,
They're
right?
Still echoing in the loom.
Mm-hmm. It's the same on both. It's the same in every game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on, let's get this synced up.
Yeah. But it's different.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Well, the dialogue is different, but also here's the thing that I miss the most in the VGA version, because
I don't know what draft to use.
I feel the chaos voice overpowers the music too much here.
Weavers are the only ones who do have the right to use this power.
Destiny has blessed you, young threadbare. For you alone will live on to pass your guild secrets to others more worthy of them.
Yeah.
I invite you to serve my new empire as advisor.
And they're saving the best close-up for the last, like literally.
Of course, I will expect your full cooperation in this historic exchange of goodwill. After all, anything else may bring harm to our relationship.
Yeah, see, the dialogue is completely different.
Heed me now. Here are the threads that will unmake the loom.
Silence.
Yeah, and one weird, not weird, but like completely arbitrary
Say
change.
something, please. I need that draft.
The gender swapped chaos.
I lose patience in the presence of inferior beings. You will now instruct me in the use of this fascinating instrument.
Over my dead body.
Preference noted.
So now, what we're supposed to do is Hetchel can't talk. We need to get the notes from her.
A beak moves, but there's nothing, not a sound.
And the loom is just the cheats for you. The loom just tells you what to do.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's supposed to reflect each of the drafts, basically, which they established in the very beginning.
Hey, the Space Quest historian is here. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, trolls.
Yeah, trolls. A good friend of ours. The Sierra. Are you gonna rebrand to the Sierra historian? Did I lose my mic? All right, there we go. The Sierra historian. Maybe? I don't know. Okay, so let's go to the loom. The loom tells us we should probably pause this one because I think they're different, each one.
Are they?
B, A, G, F. And so you have to just do it in reverse. Let's double check really quickly to make sure that it's not different in this one.
Oh, well.
B, C, C, C. Yeah, C. So now we got to do both of those in reverse. And I'll go ahead and I'll turn these up so you can hear that. So let's target Hetchel and do these.
A beak moves, but there's nothing, not a sound.
Oh.
I think I did that wrong.
It's the other way around. Yeah.
Whoops, I had the wrong selected.
This one is like, yep.
Also, this music here.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's going to be there too. It's just going to be overpowered by dialogue.
No, it's not in there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the Swan Lake, so like...
It's like the evil one, though.
Now, I believe we will
Turns into like a turkey.
the secrets
Which is
of
one of the
Loom.
things you see in one of the spheres later in the game if you
Yep.
actually look at them.
And you're just like, there's a turkey. There's Mother Hetchel. And they're like, oh shit, there's a turkey! So let's go ahead and get the audio for this. B, F, B, F. So palindrome. Or not a palindrome.
No.
B, A, B, A. Yeah. All right. No winner, chicken dinner tonight. FB.
Close your eyes now, Bobbin, but keep your ears open.
There's music here, so I'll pause
Here
it.
descends the
The third shadow.
That bird has annoyed me once too often.
And...
Now, my
Demo.
esteemed advisor, where were we before we were so rudely distracted?
Hetchel's black feather. She left one behind.
And yeah,
so
this is
she
like a...
did.
I always do like
I
this,
shall
but...
keep it as a souvenir of our little encounter.
I want that feather. Give it to me.
My, impudent, aren't we?
The draft sounds in the CD-ROM version are also on the CD. That's for trolls in the chat.
Here descends the third shadow. So like the music is a little different. I mean, pretty much the same thing does happen here though. And the animation's exactly the same, it looks like too.
Yes, well, that's because they're good. they didn't touch them.
What's interesting in the EGA version is Chaos doesn't pick up the feather until you touch it.
Mm-hmm.
They just jammed it together because I guess it's just part of the audio on the CD-ROM.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Like for gameplay, it's like you think that you might be able to undo it, you know, because they're giving you a gameplay moment, but in reality, they're just messing with you.
Yeah, and now you're just like, wait a second, what do I do next? So let's go ahead and go to both, and all right, sound should be unmuted now. Okay, there we go. That was unfortunate. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So now we're gonna unmake the loom. It basically it's a palindrome. It's BCCB. You play it once and like that's it. There's no going back. So here we go, unmaking the loom. Oops, I messed that up. That must not be a draft at all. And here for the finale, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Bobbin, you did it!
Scenes
The
deleted.
loom is unmade.
You ignorant fools! Do you comprehend?
I know the dialogue from like EGA version by heart.
None of us can pass across this rift your weaver mischief has so blindly.
They did a really good translation of this, though.
Pious meddling has brought
Like that close-up is great. Well, it's because almost the same, unfortunately.
the cry.
Except that emotion makes less sense.
Bobbin threadbare. You will always know that you have left them under my roof.
We abandon no one. When our side of the pattern is mended, we will return and put an end to your evil.
Come, Loom Child. It is time for us to begin our destinies anew.
Actually, the first time playing this game, I got very emotional here. Like, I didn't expect such a... I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's not a sad ending exactly, but like...
It's not necessarily a happy ending, but it's kind of like a Pyrrhic victory, you know?
Yeah, like, it's not. I mean, like, you, like...
Leaving so soon, Weaver? I was looking forward to spending more time with you.
And so I thought, like, oh shit, they're gonna kill my friends, and then like it just kind of goes out. And so the one time you can target yourself, so where you must transcend, and it is high C, F, G, low C. So I'll do it the manual way, so you can see how you can hold Shift and C to do it too, but I'll just do it this way. I have to point to something first. I'll do it in the VGA because it takes longer.
Fly away while you can, young threadbare, and know that we will most assuredly
And, like...
meet again.
I am ready, Mother.
For the EGA game, like especially this old,
the ending.
It's so impressive that they do that whole like effect where like they tear it out and they carry it out. And
But here's the thing,
everything
and
is
VGA
gone.
is
Everything is gone.
Yeah. So we're gonna go between the audio, and then it's just like that's it. Surprise,
Well,
the end. So I'm gonna go back to the EGA version.
EGA is great because you see all the characters look at the other side.
So you get that callback to all the people you saved, and so can you actually go through that section without closing or saving people, and like they're still dead?
Yeah, but like it won't let you proceed if you don't close any.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So that's they're just like, oh, the end. Goodbye, guys.
And yeah, on the EGA it makes like a bit of a.
And here's the thing. Here's this
like
music.
Much somber.
It gives you like that feeling of you got to the end but you didn't win, and like the other one
swap in everything. And for people who praise the FM Towns version, it's the same in the FM Towns version. Like they also swapped that song for some weird reason.
Yeah, and so the VGA version is the same music from the beginning, and it's just kind of like, oh, we're just kind of going into an adventure. And it's like, no, like. This is such a better song for the ending because it gives you that feeling of like, okay, I did something, but like maybe it wasn't good, but there's more coming. And I'm so upset that you know that this was all there was of Loom.
Yeah, sadly we didn't get the
too early for its time.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is the same as it's ahead of its time. Being ahead of your time is the same as being behind it. Anytime in the way, right? The result is kind of the same.
Timing is everything in any sort of new thing that's coming out. So like if you're coming up with a new technology, if you're too early and people can't explore it and stuff, someone rips you off later and you're like, hey, we did that like 10 years ago. And it's like, well, too bad I did it at the right time. And versus like the other way, if you're too late, you make something and it's like, dude, everybody's been doing this for a couple of years.
Yeah. But the end result is the same. Your thing kind of gets, passed on by many. I do like that.
So I hope that people, I'm gonna full screen us because this is the end and it's just the credits. But thank you so much for joining us today. I had a ton of fun.
This was great.
Learning about both the EGA and VGA versions of Loom. We had with us our resident DOS expert, Dosnostalgic. You can follow him on Twitter at Dosnostalgic. Also, he has a really great video on YouTube talking about the differences between the EGA and VGA versions. So if you're trying to show your friends who might not be into a 2-hour stream, he's got like a 9-minute video on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean it's you can just look up the video. It's mostly for people who have played the VGA version. Like don't if your friends don't know anything about it, it was because it's such a short game. It's impossible to talk about without spoilers, right? So if you've only played the VGA version and you want to convince somebody else who only played the VGA version to play the EGA version, that's it's called.
Well,
Loom
maybe
EGA
this stream will be good, and we'll be uploading this stream to YouTube on Friday if you're not already watching it on YouTube on Friday, and we will be at South by Southwest this weekend showing off our new game called Starship Commander. So if you're in the Austin area, hang around and we'll give you a couple more details on that. But I believe that's it, unless you've got something else to say.
This is it. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. That listen, I'm not gonna shit on anybody for liking the VGA. Like I said before, you're allowed to be wrong.
I'm
what
still
can I
allowed
say?
to be your friend.
You can all be my friends, and still be wrong. So it doesn't bother me that much. But I will block for anybody who will bring up FM Town's version as the best, because it sucks even more. So.
All right. Well, that was our stream. Please join us every Friday where we normally stream, where we do adventure games, VR games, and story-heavy games. Normally at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. You should also follow us on Twitter. We are at human_interact. And we will be tweeting from South by Southwest. And if you aren't on our YouTube channel, link will be at the end. Follow us on YouTube, and you will catch our live streams at South by Southwest. Thank you so much. I'm Alexander Mejia, and we will see you next Friday. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.